Time. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours to get you through your Thursday afternoon. A lot to get to. One NBA playoff game last night. Some interesting stuff happening in baseball. So a lot to get to over the next 3 hours. Got some great guests coming up a little bit later. Talk basketball, talk some Tigers with Greg Gaston at 5 o'clock. We'll talk some showboats with Steve Macy, NBA with Keith Smith. So a lot to get to today. Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great, Brian. Already a busy day for me. Yeah. 3-2 winners for the Redbirds.
How about that? Yeah, you told me earlier.
Downtown at 3rd and Union.
You got out there for the early first pitch today, and told me it was Kids Day. So
ballpark felt good.
Love Kids Day.
Felt alive. It felt great.
Good. Yeah,
and shout out to whoever the little kid from Olive Branch Middle School. I'm just walking by. Put out a tater to me.
All right. I love that. That's great.
Made my day.
How about that? Yeah. No, I like Kids Day. They're, seems like everyone likes to do them.
Did you ever go on Kids Day?
No. I don't think I ever did.
A lot of field trips there today.
A lot of field trips. I know
we went to Chucalissa. We didn't go to baseball.
Yeah, no, I never went to baseball. I think my mom once took her class to a baseball game for Kids Day. I think that.
I attended a Kids Day. We had it for seniors though. We had it for seniors.
Where'd you go?
I went to Lake Cormorant.
No, I'm saying where was the?
It's Redbirds game?
Yeah, at the Redbirds game. Yeah, I was there.
I didn't know if you were talking about because a bunch of different teams.
Yeah. I meant for the Redbird games they had Kids Day.
Senior skip day?
Yeah, it was for it was our trip.
Wish we had done something like that. That would have been fun.
It was fun. It was a really great day. A great environment.
I don't think you'd mind me saying it because we were all legal of age back then because 18 in Tennessee. We went to Alex's Tavern on senior skip day. Shout out, Rocky.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, no, but good day.
It was legal.
Yeah, of course.
We had designated drivers. Everything was fine.
Absolutely. But no, I'm glad you had a good time out there at the Redbirds game. Glad the kids had a good time and got to see a win over a really good opponent. With the Norfolk Tide.
Real good opponent. Love that team. Who's my third baseman? I told you.
Mayo.
Colby Mayo.
Colby Mayo. That's right. Yeah, he's a good
almost
player.
love him as much as Jackson Holiday.
Well, there's some good players with that team. We've talked a lot about them, and I remember seeing some of their scores and watching a couple of their games early in the season. And you go and I don't know what it is now. It's probably been 2 or 3 weeks since I looked, but I mean, you go and look at their statistics, and it's like. 7 or 8 guys were batting over 300, and so they have a lot of really good players. Obviously, Jackson Holiday, the big one,
very aggressive team.
Yeah. So
good game today, 3-2.
Yeah, glad they got a win.
I did Chuck Oliver's college football show in Atlanta earlier today. Been to a Redbirds game. Now my favorite 3 hours of the day.
Yeah,
right here.
That's right. So very
day.
eventful. Good day.
Y'all don't ruin it.
No promises, Johnny. We got to keep an eye on you. So,
hey man, no promises.
No promises. That's how we like it. Fun game last night with the Knicks and the Pacers. Knicks able to come back and get the win, go up 2-0, and now have control going back to Indiana.
I don't think anybody's surprised by them being up 2-0.
No.
Last night, the Pacers, I thought they got in, and it happens. I thought they got to yell-yelling with the referees too much, and
I agree.
Any glimmer of hope. I thought that really distracted them. And then Rick Carlisle, and I love Rick Carlisle, but you can't go where he went of saying they want big market. Well, that's
he can't say that.
That's saying it's fixed.
Yeah.
You can't do that. He's going to get fined. He should. Sure. He's a great guy, NBA legend, legendary figure. Heat of the moment and the class warfare. He's stoking the good people back in the Hoosier State.
Sure,
they're going to be ready for the team from Gotham when the Knicks get there.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one going back to Indiana. And
I am too.
I think I've heard a lot of people already today kind of start saying, "Oh, this one's done," and New York's gonna make this look easy. But
it's not done.
No, I don't think so either.
They're in control.
They are, and but certainly I'm excited to see what the Pacers can do at home. T.J. McConnell has kind of been the big story today. Played really well, but then didn't get really any minutes.
And he
in
handled it like
closing
a
time.
pro.
He did
Quotes and comments and post-game decorum instead of disrupting the locker room.
Sure.
So, Rick Carlisle's been around the block.
Yeah, he
knows
has.
what he's doing.
Absolutely, but it's fun. I like watching T.J. McConnell play, and he looked really good last night. Wish they had gotten him in there more. And then some of those guys.
Did they forget about him?
Maybe. I mean,
They did. I feel like they did.
I don't know how though. I mean,
Can you walk up and down on your bench and go, "Oh yeah, I still have you"?
yeah, I don't know how you forget
How do you
about
do that?
somebody. in the
And sometimes
playoffs.
I do think coaches can.
Sure. Well, you get locked in, tunnel vision of
Mm-hmm.
what's going on the court, and you're trying to make a bunch of decisions in really key moments, and it's a tough position to be in. So I don't know how much I blame them for many decisions, but I think what he was bringing defensively,
But
what
it
he was
hadn't
bringing
been the
offensively.
referees to beat
No,
the Pacers. It's been the Knicks.
it has.
The officiating hadn't been great.
Sure, but the Knicks have played well, and I think have done it really impressively. And Brunson goes out there and continues to do what he's doing, and even was a little hobbled last night, had to leave and
Full
come
Willis
back.
Reed
And I mean,
on the anniversary.
sure,
That was the NBA Finals
Oh,
on
wow.
that
Holy
date in
cow.
1970.
crazy.
Crazy how time had changed.
Oh yeah,
And we
That's crazy.
played 82 games. It just
Wow.
wasn't the postseason, and it was
Sure.
real fast.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Wrap up 7-game series in about 9 days.
Wow, that's crazy. But no, that was a fun game. And so New York up 2-0. But really, this Knicks team's just so impressive. And I mean, you look, and we'll see maybe if it becomes a factor. Once this series shifts to Indiana, but Knicks still sticking to that 7-man rotation, and you're relying heavily on a couple of those guys.
Almost
Hart with
forced
48,
to.
DiVincenzo with 44. Brunson would have played that much if he hadn't had to leave with that injury. So you're right, you have to, but still I think getting some good minutes from those couple of guys they're relying off the bench. But this is a good Knicks team, and we'll see how the rest of this series plays out.
And with the days off we have and the longer timeouts in game,
Sure.
that's still pretty taxing though.
Yeah.
That's getting up there stretching it.
Yeah.
That toll you just read, but you can do it now easier than you could. Say when Willis Reed made his triumphant return.
Yeah, no, it's definitely easier, but like
I
you
don't
said,
think
at
Willis
some
Reed
point-
even scored that night, but it was just such a
Really?
lift
Sure.
in the building.
Sure, yeah. So, but Brunson certainly has been giving New York City a lift with just how he's been playing. I mean, 29 points almost feels like an off night for him with what he's been doing in the playoffs. But he's been fun to watch. Hartenstein's been really fun to watch. It's kind of the only center they have, literally the only center they have now has been kind of the only center they've had most of the season. And it felt like you were getting something back, and then another injury takes place.
And Hartenstein goes full Jokic.
Yeah, and he's been fun to watch. He's been good. 14 points last night, 8 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. So he's been playing well, and we've been kind of talking about it with Keith Smith for a while this year of what's this offseason going to be for him. He wants to stay in New York, but I've kind of asked a couple of times. It's almost like your question with will any of these guys go back to college? I've asked 3 or 4 times about Hartenstein, like, is there any hope that maybe the Grizzlies could go out and get an offer out there? And he's kind of turned it down every time of just the money game. It's not going to work.
I think Hartenstein was the Grizzlies' target February, late January, early February.
Certainly, and that's really when he kind of took over this role with the Knicks because of injuries
For next year, not at deadline.
Sure, and has really shown how big of a factor he is for this team, and has played well.
And it's so easy to do what Rick Carlisle, what he was doing last night. He's trying to motivate his fans, and they will, and I'm sure they'll have something on a T-shirt, welcoming them, or on a towel. We do it. We've done it here, and it's easy that small town. They're out to get us. They don't want us.
That's right.
The network honchos and the league offices don't want us. That's the last thing the NBA could get near, and that's why they're going to have to. I'm surprised it's not out by now.
Sure.
Severely fine Rick Carlisle, a league that got scalded as badly as you can with a rogue referee.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily isolated, we think and hope,
Yeah.
to just one.
Sure.
And a long time ago, but Shoeless Joe Jackson left a stain on baseball to this day.
Yeah.
Great point, Brett.
Yeah. And so, but you're
So
right.
you can't have a respected figure like that tacitly saying
That's right.
the fix is in.
Yeah, it's especially what you talking about with the past they have been dealing with as well, Brett. But just in this climate of space that we're in sports, betting in sports, man, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. That makes the league look fake.
We're hip deep with it, and I said about it at Donahue time when that broke. When was that? 03, 04?
Yes, it was.
When that broke, I said on these airwaves, guess where I was, Brian?
Right here.
I said, if this is in mass, if it's a lot, I never go again.
Yeah.
Because the day
That's true.
I'm not going and it's straight up competition, then I'm going to a show.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a show. If I want to see a show, I'll go see the Globetrotters.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I want to see teams going all out and everybody's on blast around sports.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see today, and to get a handle on it, I don't know what the line's going to be, but you see Jaden Daniels and his teammate at LSU, Malik Neighbors, they have they're talking about it.
Sure.
A healthy $10,000 wager on which one will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. That it doesn't bother me at all. Does it bother y'all?
No, it don't. It don't bother me.
Because
Fun
there's
little
no
bet.
fix in.
No.
And it's
That's competition.
Sure.
and it's so hard to fix stuff like that, like sports when I'm talking about with the football aspect, because he gonna be he the second quarterback off the board, and he gotta perform. You know, he gotta perform on the
To
field.
win the bet, he's got to perform.
Yeah, so it's hard, man, and then they gotta get adjusted to the league.
I wonder how much just my team's going to beat yours pregame wagers are there.
Sure.
Like when they're out there, 2 hours before the game and
Definitely.
just in shorts.
I think that happens a lot. I think that happens a lot.
I have no problem with it. We know we learned and confirmed around football out of Bounty Gate with the Saints, and everybody knew it. At the Sunday night victory party, and for home games, if they're at home and they win that Sunday night victory party at various players' houses, that would be a great 30 for 30.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Legendary.
Yeah.
Good time, fun time, celebrating winning, and maybe some other things.
Sure.
We know defensive players have had bounties. It's a loaded word, but if the quarterback goes down and he goes down hard,
Yep.
Sunday night's victory party,
Oh, yeah.
we got to pay off. Warren Sapp talked about it, and they got to him quick and said, "Be quiet. Don't say anything else about it." And a friend of mine lived in a really nice gated neighborhood in Tampa with Warren Sapp, and he talked about the legendary Sunday night
Holy
victory
cow.
parties.
I love that.
I have no problem with that. Bounty Gate, what really got the Saints in trouble was the injury aspect.
yeah. People were actually getting hurt.
And the league wanted to run from that.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't know the NFL is a really violent sport.
Turn the TV on, watch a game.
Yeah.
I mean, but no.
And Al Davis famous for
Sure.
the quarterback going down.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I have no problem with two friends making a friendly wager. I mean, I see it nothing different than like the other night I went to Topgolf with some friends and two guys that were there
Long
stepped
drive
up and
chance.
said, "Man, if I beat you in this little game that they have at Topgolf, $30, I'm going to beat you in this." It's the exact same.
Man,
thing,
that's
man.
a big wager for guys out at Topgolf.
That's
Also,
a big one.
I should say guys that I'm pretty sure had never picked up a golf club before they
Betting
got
on golf.
to Topgolf, betting on who would
You
win
mean
a
there's
game.
gambling around golf courses and around golf, Brian?
No.
I would have never thought
Not
that.
at all. Never. No. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not like it's anything like an official betting or a player betting on the game. Like it's nothing like Jonte Porter that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Oh, I'm going to take myself out of this game, so bet the unders. It's nothing like that. It's a friendly wager.
And that was taking care of buddies, too.
Oh, absolutely. So I see nothing wrong with it. I like it. It's going to be fun. It's certainly going to be a storyline, though, that everyone keeps up with during the season of, all right, where do you think each of these guys sit with Offensive Rookie of the Year and who could win this bet? So I think it's fun.
And $10,000 to them.
Sure.
I mean, that's us. That's three of us going to dinner at Christmas time.
Yes.
To them.
Yes.
It's just
yes.
peanuts.
That $10,000 is the $30 that my buddies bet on Top
right.
Golf. You know, so it's
and that's fine. That's their money.
Exactly.
They've earned every cent of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can spend it now. At 60, you might look back and regret.
Maybe I shouldn't have made that 10,
I need that
10K
10
bet.
grand.
Yeah, but no, that's
might look back at 30.
Sure.
That's up to you, though. You got to live your life.
Absolutely. So I see nothing wrong with it. Having a little fun with your friend and teammate. So that would be really fun.
I think the whole fix game, it was rigged. That is so overstated versus the reality of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Has it happened? Yes. I'm not naive.
But it's also much different than a fan or like us coming in the next morning and saying, "Oh, that game last night. I mean, there was something off. That game had to be fixed." Than a coach doing it. And so I think you're right. I think there's going to be a big fun. But you're also right. It's almost like a double-edged sword because when they do go back for Game 3 in Indiana, that fan base is rallying around that, and it's definitely going to be us against them.
The Cardinals did it in the '87 playoffs. Well, they did it after Jeffrey Leonard called St. Louis Cowtown. Well, and that was big against little, and
of course.
that was all the incentive needed.
Yeah, but I mean, we've done it here with the Grizzlies in those playoffs and the towels, the different things on towels. Most time is
did it 13 months ago against the Lakers.
Exactly, it's us against them. It's us against the world. So. I think you're right. There's going to be a fine, and I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't come out yet. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. A very busy show on tap. 3:30, Steve Macy, the Senior Director for Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. He'll join us. We'll talk some Showboats as another week, another game for the Showboats. They're on the road this weekend. We'll talk a lot about that with Steve in our next segment. 3:45, we've been kind of using this 3:45 segment to do a lot of different fun things around the NBA playoffs. 2 days ago, we did coach rankings. Yesterday, we did player rankings. Today, venue rankings, the top 8 playoff arenas
where you would like to go.
NBA. So that will be fun with the 8 remaining ranking. Then we'll do that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, we'll stick with the NBA because Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show, he'll join us to talk the NBA. Got plenty to talk about with, obviously, the NBA playoffs, but also lottery this weekend, some draft talk, and other offseason talk with now a lot of teams starting the offseason. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball. It was a busy night of baseball last night, a limited schedule today, but already have a couple of finals in the books. A couple teams, starting series for this weekend. So
Cardinals
we'll get to that
rained
at 4:30 today.
Are they?
I don't think so. But I haven't seen yet. No, it's too bad. Thought maybe we get 2 days back to back of not having to worry about the Cardinals. Unfortunately, Brett, Brewers this weekend. I think it's gonna be rough
in Milwaukee.
I think it's gonna be rough. But we'll talk baseball at 4:30. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston, he'll join us to talk Tigers, and plenty to get to with the Tigers. We talked yesterday about that USA Today story out with their writers doing a way too early top 25, Memphis in there at 25, but also what the Tigers football team has done this offseason, the spring portal, bringing in some guys in the mix with some highly rated recruits. Also, we'll get some basketball talk in there as well with Greg. We'll do that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Get out to Family Leisure for factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Get by Family Leisure to check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it. Buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer is Johnny Hill, and we're Sports Time, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of the show at 901-360-8255. That's where you text. That's where you call. And all our guests will appear on that same number, 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text, talk, and guest line. Join us on that at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the NBA playoffs. We already talked a little bit about the Knicks and the Pacers last night. Knicks record a 130-121 win over the Pacers, but they needed a massive second half in order to do it. They outscored the Pacers 36-18 out of halftime in the third quarter, which gave them that massive boost. And after that, really the Pacers just never looked the same. They never looked right. TJ McConnell gets stuck on the bench, and that's kind of been the big storyline days. Why did you not put TJ McConnell back in? I saw on Twitter after the game people were posting his plus minuses while he was on the court and while he was off the court. And
he looked lonely over there, didn't he?
He did, and I guess that's how it goes sometimes when you are stuck.
The forgotten man.
Forgotten man. So here it is. Pacers this series, so not just last game, but this whole series, plus 19 with TJ McConnell on the court, minus 32 with TJ McConnell on the bench. He did not play the final 7.5 minutes last night. So another win for the Knicks. They now control, but I do think there's a lot left in this series. Both these games have been close. Yeah, maybe this game wasn't as close as the last game. Knicks covered pretty easily, but it was a very interesting game, and now I think we'll see the same with Game 3 in Indiana. You mentioned the post-game comments by Rick Carlisle after the game. Certainly that fan base is going to rally around that. It's going to be a great atmosphere for Game 3, and I think Pacers could win that one. I think right now I'm probably leaning they win Game 3 to set up what could be a really crucial Game 4 for both sides.
We were group locked Knicks. How many games? They're up 2-0. They need 2 more. How many does it go?
I say 6.
I say 5.
Going 7.
Wow.
We got 5, 6, 7. Somebody
love that. Somebody's got
a sweep.
Unless it's a sweep.
And I don't think anybody's predicting that. My top story, right there, Madison Square Garden last night. Knicks go up 2-0 and Rick Carlisle ejected. But as shaky as the officiating has been, Indiana hadn't done enough to win either of these games. That's why they're down 0-2. They're looking for excuses. They're looking for reasons. The Knicks have been a little bit better, and they've been at home. They're up 2-0, and Indiana will play. And they did play the class warfare game. We all love to play. We're all guilty of it. We do it every walk of life. You can't help but do it. Just imagine if this were the Grizzlies against the Lakers. We know we'd be doing the same kind of lame thing.
Of course.
And the Knicks are now up 2-0 because they've been better.
Not top story of the day.
Well, this one might surprise some people for my not top story of the day, and it might make some people mad. And I don't mean it as a shot to the NBA at all. I love the NBA. I love the playoffs. They've been fun to watch. But the Stanley Cup playoffs have been more fun to watch than the NBA playoffs.
I think the end of those games have been.
They have, but they've been, I think a lot of games have been.
Puck dropping.
Well, well, that is true, but
the
endings have been fun. But I think have been some really good matchups. Go back to Tuesday when you had the first game, Rangers and Hurricanes, go to 2 overtimes before it could be settled, with the Hurricanes getting up big at the beginning, but then the Rangers fighting back and finally winning that. That second game of the night, Avs and Stars go to overtime after the Stars went up 3-0 in the first period. I thought that one was for sure over, and it was even before that first game went so long that we had it on and we were kind of seeing in the corner and the scoreboard, you'd see the scoreboard change and go, oh my gosh, Dallas is already up 2-0, they're up 3-0. Then last night we had some more fun games. Now that first game, some people will argue and say won a fun game, 6-1 the Panthers win at home, but man, we had
Boston wanted to fight.
Everybody wanted to fight, Brad. Everybody in the building wanted to fight.
Old-fashioned Donnybrook.
It felt like that whole third period was just a big old melee of everybody.
And that was fighting.
It sure was.
It wasn't any hold me back stuff.
So that was fun to watch in that first one.
Let's get the Dukes up.
Oh no, it was crazy. Then that second game, Oilers and Canucks.
My Canucks.
Your
I picked
Canucks.
them.
You
Y'all
sure
both picked
did.
that Edmonton.
You absolutely did.
The Edmonton.
And the Edmonton. I felt good about my pick last night, especially early. Oilers go
Y'all
up
know I've been a
extremely
lifelong
quick.
Canucks fan.
I believe it, Brett.
Is that right, Brett? Wow,
Yeah,
I'm learning
yeah.
something new about him.
Learn something new about Brett every day.
Yesterday, you learned about Christina Aguilera.
That's right.
Today, you learned I've been a lifelong Canucks fan.
How about that? But they go down 2-0 early. Oilers get up by even more, and we're even up 4-2 at one point. But then here come the Canucks in the third period. They score 3 goals to come back and win that. I'm telling you, if you're not watching the NHL, if you don't care for hockey, just give it a chance. Watch these 2 games tonight that both went to overtime. The last time they were out there should be 2 really fun matchups.
I would love a Florida-Vancouver Stanley Cup.
It'd be fun.
Neither have ever won it.
Right.
Both have been in the finals,
Yeah.
but never been able to win it.
I'd
That
like
would be
that.
fun. My not top story, 2 game twos tonight. Cavs heavy underdogs, 13.5 against the Celtics, and Dallas trying to get that split in Oklahoma City. The Thunder, 5.5 point favorite versus Luka and Kyrie. Smallville, Oklahoma City will bring it tonight. You don't have to provoke them. They're ready for this, and it makes me I can't wait till next spring. Grizzlies, you got to get back in the playoffs.
Yes.
I have really missed not seeing even those 8:30, 8:40, 8:45 tip times, the fun of FedEx Forum at playoff time.
Oh, yeah. I miss it, and hopefully it'll be back here pretty soon next season. But I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we're talking showboats with Steve Macy.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everyone has dreams, and if you've been dreaming of new appliances, Appliance Liquidators can make your dreams come true at any budget. Appliance Liquidators in South Haven is family-owned with low prices on appliances along with top-notch customer service. Choose from authorized brands including Crosley, GE, Maytag, LG, Whirlpool, and more. Appliance Liquidators specializes in clearance and scratch and dent. You get quality with minor imperfections at affordable prices. Stop dreaming and start living with new appliances from Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Collierville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Right now, our biggest delay is over here in this construction zone, trying to get 55 northbound, let's say from Mallory there, 3rd, all the way up to Crump. That's a pretty good delay now that has developed out here in this construction zone going northbound on 55. Be careful. Sometimes it wants to really crawl between McLemore and South Parkway. 240 East, yes, it's busy over here at Poplar. It's been slow today up through the Midtown area. That's what I'm looking at, heavy traffic right now on 240 north from, let's say, Lamar all the way up to Union. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and joining us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, Steve Macy, the Senior Director for Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. He joins us now. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Another week for the Showboats as they'll be on the road this week, Saturday morning at noon against the Renegades. Last week, an unfortunate loss against the Stallions. Stallions continue to roll undefeated right now in the league.
A really solid team.
A really solid team. What did you make of last week and this weekend coming up against the Renegades?
Well, the good news was this last week that in the mascot race between the Stallions mascot and the Showboats mascot, Skipper won.
We love Skipper.
You know, we love Skipper. Brian and I were texting about Skipper during the game Saturday.
We love Skipper.
Yeah, so Skipper wins the race, and that was a good outcome on the day. Obviously, you know, all seriousness, the Stallions are very good.
Real good.
And we're trying to find our way right now, and I think it's a little bit of a little bit of a tough time right now, but I think it's, there's a little incremental growth each week, even though it may not be showing up in the win column. You can see the growth of the team as they move on, and I think it's to try to figure out who's that leader on the offensive side. That's going to really dictate how well the offense can run, because I think they're struggling trying to find that leadership right now.
Yeah, it looks like everything's got to be real quick for Case Cookus or anybody at quarterback. They got to get it out of there fast because they just don't have a lot of time. And when you're having trouble running it like that and you're having trouble pass blocking like that, the quarterback is really sitting back there very vulnerable.
There are, and I think it's some confidence too, right? I mean, it's as we did talk about confidence a lot. There's the quarterback's got to feel comfortable in his read and then just let it go. He's got to be in a position where he feels confident that what the training he's gone through all week, that the film sessions, that practice, that scout team, everything is ready for them to pull the trigger when it's game time, and you got to just go ahead and pull the trigger. And so I think sometimes we hold it, not quite sure if what we see is really what's there. And I think once that confidence comes in, look, we're getting near the end of the season. We only got 4 games left, so it's got to start coming soon, we would hope. And, Arlington's a good opportunity for the Showboats this weekend. Yeah, it's on the road, but it's a non-travel trip. So the good thing is the teams are all housed in Arlington. They're not having to get on a plane. They can kind of get into a regular rhythm like if they were at a true home site and play that football game against a team that, while it won the XFL last year, is winless this year. And I think both teams are pretty desperate to win a game at this point.
And, Steve, the good part of the schedule is the tougher games are behind the Showboats. The next 4 is a lot fairer fight.
Well, I think it's, I think as you look at any season, you start off at the beginning. I think we all knew that Birmingham would be good. They've been really good since the rebirth of spring football 2 seasons ago, and they're back-to-back champs in the USFL for a reason. So I think having 2 of your first 6 games against them, those were going to be tough. When you look at playing at St. Louis, that's a tough game because they're going to have 30 or 40,000 people packed in there. Obviously, the San Antonio game got away from us. That's a game that, they're now looking good in that XFL conference, and it's a game the Showboats were dominating for 58 minutes. So you kind of look at that and you say that Showboats team is still in there. That won the opening weekend, then controlled a game for 58 minutes. And so you feel like if they can just reimagine and believe in themselves again and bring that same team back, the team that exists, there's not really anything wrong. It's just a matter of bringing that back to fruition and having them running the game again.
Yeah. Well, I know we've talked about it a couple weeks. It seems like kind of the story of this team this season has been good starts, but then as the game goes on, it seems like they falter out. I think
got it Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday. I mean, a really good start for them against the Stallions. I think you were really impressed, especially when you go back and think about what happened down in Birmingham just a couple of weeks ago. And then kind of as that game went on, missed opportunities, Birmingham is able to capitalize on them. What have you seen when it comes to that, of these slow starts, or good starts, and then kind of slow finishes, and how do you fix that?
I think part of the slower finish has been kind of game and situation. You're down and you're trying to force things that maybe aren't your normal efforts and things you do, and then you give up a couple late scores. I think that's been most of the end of games. I think it just is what it is right now. Yeah. And it's something the coaches are working hard. They've identified it. They understand it. It's not anything that's surprising to them. And it's right now they're trying to fix it and find the solution that will allow the Showboats to finish this game strong, to finish up what they've started. And we've seen some glimmers of that in third quarters where, early in the kind of this losing streak, there were times when the third quarter was just awful. And now we've seen a couple really good third quarters. So I don't think it's one thing you could put your finger on and say, hey, this is what's missing. This is the part that has to be fixed. I think it's just, the coaches are well aware that the second halves have been rough on the Showboats this fall.
Steve, this week, those league-wide, I'm sure you're on a bunch of them, conference calls, they have to be pleased. That game Saturday, 11 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, and it draws almost 1 million people. The league, they have to be pleased with the TV numbers and the better play this year.
Oh, I think this has been to mix metaphors here and mix in the wrong sport, this has been an absolute home run from a television perspective. And one of the things that we've talked about, my colleagues and I, is that the TV product is phenomenal. And the production they put into it and the behind-the-scenes things they show and, seeing the calls of the plays and exactly how the referees are talking to each other and what they're calling and how they're communicating. All these things that we're getting to peel the curtain back and fans get to see from a television perspective, it's spectacular. And I think, it's a testament to the vision of the leadership that this is the type of a product we're putting on TV. Our challenge is, and I was talking about that we are talking about this internally, is how do we close that gap so that someone doesn't say, I want to watch this on TV. This is nothing new. And this is a conversation I had when I was at New Mexico State, when I was at the University of Memphis. What is the challenge isn't overcoming someone's objections to wanting to say, go to the fair or go to the zoo versus going to a football game. The challenge is, what can you do to make it so much better than that in-game, make that in-game experience so much better if someone feels that they're watching it from home? And that's what we're working on. That's what we are spending
sports.
A lot of time discussing. And as part of that is, like you said, an 11 o'clock start time. That hurts. That doesn't help. And so it's all of those things that we've got to overcome, how great the television portion of this is.
Yeah, I think next year, if you could get your schedule in your hand a lot sooner than you got it this year, and in the off season, really tell people, we told you we weren't going anywhere. Come back out. Give us another chance.
Correct. I think that's another thing we've talked about is, look, we need to have some time. And I think now that we know how things are going to look for next year, we're going to get our ticket renewals out within 6 weeks of the season ending instead of 3 weeks before the season starts. The pricing will be done, seating, all of those things will be in the planning stage. Schedules, I anticipate those being really early as well, sometime this summer. And I think just having a full year to remind the community that we're here and to say, come have fun with us. And then, for us from a marketing perspective to work on those things that will make that game day experience so much better, so much more enjoyable than maybe you can choose to have in the seat on your couch. Now, we think we're putting a great product on the field in terms of fans having fun and the talent of the players and coaches, but we've got to convince a lot more folks that it's a more enjoyable experience to come spend 3 hours with us on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And I did it Saturday, Steve, and that line of scrimmage play for the both home games I've been to this year and watching on TV, much improved over last year. And if you're good in line of scrimmage play, may not always be both sides, then the quarterback play is going to be better. I was watching the 30 for 30 on the whole Marino Elway draft, and Jim Kelly was prominent in that, and he signed with the Houston Gamblers instead of the Buffalo Bills. Well, they're not going to do that now. They're not going to go sign college stars away from the NFL. But, Steve, you think there's any consideration being given maybe to hotshot freshmen, sophomore even, that's not NFL eligible? Maybe UFL go sign him because UFL's got more money than NIL money.
Well, I think as this all evolves and spring football evolves, there are a lot of these guys now that recognize the value of having some professional film. And I guess that it makes sense. If you're a college player and you want to go ahead and take that next step and say, I want to test myself, but I'm not quite ready for the NFL, and they don't think I'm ready, but I want to go get film as a professional. The UFL is a great spot. I mean, it's a wonderful place for them to come and learn and be tested in a way that they haven't been tested in the college game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's 3 weeks on the road before the Showboats return to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium for the season finale. I'm sure your team has been discussing on what to do for that final game of the regular season. Anything that you can announce yet about what you are going to have for that game in a couple weeks?
Well, yeah, there's actually we play at home weeks 9 and 10, so we have 2 weeks on the road and then 2 weeks at home, and we're going to do our Hats Off to Heroes game week 9, which will be on the 26th. and that is going to be our salute to really our community heroes, military, first responders, teachers, medical professionals, and we're working on some fun things. You might see a little bit of some competition amongst those groups in various ways, kind of the Showboats Olympics, for lack of a better term, and have a little bit of fun with that and recognize those heroes. And as part of that, as you go out, we will have our amazing grill spatulas, and these are laser etched with the logo on the actual flat part of the spatula with the Showboats long logo on the handle, and we'll be giving out over 2,500 of those as people leave. I'd love to give them as people walk in, but they would be weapons, and some 2-year-old's going to brain his dad with it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do that post-game.
Yeah.
On the way out. You can brain them in the car. So that'll be week 9. Then week 10, that's our only home night game of the year. And so we're calling it Boats at Night, and we've got some stuff planned to have a little bit of fun with that last game, give some stuff away, and really just celebrate our fans. And that's a game I would love for us to have just a massive crowd and really cement the idea that a night game for Memphis fans is a much better game day atmosphere than a day game, especially at 11 o'clock. I just think it's an opportunity for us to put some data in front of the league that shows that our fan base responds really well to a night game atmosphere. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to get all night games, but it does mean that we can show this really makes an impact on attendance. That's kind of our last 2 home games, and I'd love to walk into those 2 games with 2-game winning streak, 2 games on the road. And Arlington's obviously an opportunity. They played everybody tough, but they're winless this year. And my counterpart and I we're working on a little side bet between the two on what's going to happen this game, and hopefully I don't have to do too many push-ups. That was his suggestion. I said, dude, I'm old. I'm not doing a whole bunch of push-ups, so keep it easy. Take it easy on me.
Steve, I got 3 in me if you need them. I got 3 push-ups in me if you need them.
All right, so I'll take those. But, hey, look, we're going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Steve, I know you've had your whole life been in promotions and ops and game day things, and it was not a Tiger basketball game, but I was at a college basketball game of a team in the area one time. And, Steve, you know that administrator that's always worried about everything. Well, I see him pregame, and I go, why are you in such a knot? He goes, we're giving away koozies tonight, and I know on the first bad call, every one of them is going to end up on the court. And he was right. You got to give them away leaving.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, the projectiles, they seem like such great promotions. Then you realize that it wasn't such a good idea. And sometimes you do things that are cool and they flop, and that administrator knew what he was talking about for sure.
That's hilarious. That's great. Well, Steve, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy your week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for the time, and go Boats.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve Macy joining us, the Senior Director for Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. They're on the road this week, be on the road again next week, and then 2 home games to wrap up the season. I was wrong about that, and I apologize again. So that'll be fun to get 2 more home games for the Showboats. But let's go ahead and get to a break, because when we come back, fun little exercise. We did coaches 2 days ago for the playoffs. We did player rankings yesterday for the playoffs. Now, venue rankings, top 8, the 8 remaining playoff arenas. We're going to rank them next on Sportstime.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Brownie, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like I couldn't do pull-ups, I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
This Mother's Day, let's celebrate the woman who held our scraped knees, cheered our victories, and nurtured our dreams, and show her the love she deserves. Of course, there's no single gift that can truly express the depths of our love, but this Mother's Day at Genesis Diamonds, we'll help you find something truly special. From sparkling diamonds to timeless pearls to colored gemstones, we have it all. And the trusted experts at Genesis are here to help you find the perfect piece that helps you say, "Thank you, Mom." It's a perfect time to see the amazing collection of exclusive and acclaimed jewelry designers at Genesis, like Gabriel & Company, Shy Creation, Tacori, A. Jaffe, Simon G., and more. You can find all the mothers in your life something unique, handcrafted and beautiful. Jewelry she can wear and appreciate every day. Mom deserves the best. Let us help make this Mother's Day truly unforgettable with something affordable yet timeless. Happy Mother's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we know that there's great teams and great coaches remaining in the NBA playoffs, but you got to have a great venue as well. We've done players, we've done coaches, so now we got to rank the top 8 remaining playoff arenas in the NBA. We said it yesterday. I think number 1 and number 2, pretty obvious.
Two
a little
gardens.
tricky after that.
It is.
But I think I'm confident on my ranking. I'll try not to leave out an MVP like I did yesterday.
That's okay. Nikola Jokic with the MVP last night. And remember, a few weeks ago when I said, in no world is Joel Embiid better than Jokic.
No, he's not.
He's just not. Much more accomplished. Number 1, everybody all together now, Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah. That's number 1.
TD Garden, too. Yep. Madison Square Garden, the oldest arena in the NBA, this current MSG rebuilt 5 times. That may touch it just on that site. Original construction, 1968. TD Garden in Boston, it's the 4th oldest of these 8 teams remaining, built in 1995. I didn't realize it was that old.
I didn't either.
Boston Garden's been gone that long. Famed Boston Garden.
Yeah.
Who's your 3?
3 for me, I'm going to go American Airlines Center for Dallas.
And it's the opposite of old Boston Garden and new Boston Garden or Madison Square Garden. It is a great arena, great setting. Tigers were there in 2006 opening weekend. I've been there for NBA really great arena.
Yeah. So I had to go there. And
First opened in 2001. I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah. And obviously now all the talk about trying to get something new there, but it's good arena.
But they're going totally new. They won't.
I think there's some people that want
in that area, in that location.
But it's gonna be tough. I mean, that area, there's not a lot of space.
It sure is.
I think there's kind of both sides of let's just do some work on it. I know they want to add a casino, and then the other side that just says let's just try something new.
We got to have a casino. 4 for me. And from here on is just kind of preference to go. Oklahoma City for me.
Okay. I have 4 for me. I've got the Target Center.
I got Target Center last.
Wow.
Built in 1990, second oldest of these 8 buildings.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know it was that long. But yeah, I got Target Center. You know, why not? Just throw that in there.
I got Denver 5 Ball Arena, built in 99.
Wow, I didn't realize it'd been there that long. 5 for me, I've got Paycom. So OKC there. I'd like to go there, but you know, I don't know. I've seen pictures of it.
6 for me, Cleveland, built in 94, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. That ain't a field house.
No, it is.
El Marone's a field house.
Yes, it sure is. Wow, it seems like all of ours after 3 have just been one-off because 6 for me, I go Ball Arena. Obviously, a fun arena, but also with that elevation that everyone talks about would be cool.
I have 7 in Indianapolis in downtown for the Pacers. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, built in 1999.
Wow, yeah, I've got Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse as number 7 for me, and it doesn't do much for me.
Who's your last?
I've got Gainbridge Fieldhouse as my last.
And no, I'm not bitter at all. Most all of the Memphis media invited by the search team knew we were getting a team.
Sure.
It was just a matter of what arena would look like. And most all of the Memphis media invited to a weekend in Indianapolis to go to that arena. It was a different name then, except for me.
Oh, man.
But I'm not bitter about
it. No.
So that's why I got you 7th. I don't want to see your arena.
I love it. I have them dead last. So, same. What's your 8th?
Target
Center. That's
Minnesota.
Right. You said that, yeah. Okay, so we're that's funny how it ended up being most of ours after 3.
29 buildings in the league. Remember, Clippers and Lakers share 22 older than FedEx Forum.
Wow,
and we're getting ready to spend that amount of money.
Yeah,
you have to.
Got to
keep up.
Yep.
You've got to build a new one to keep up.
And you see it all the time. Yeah, people keep it up, and now Clippers getting their new arena
if you
going.
want to be the one that tests them, where are you going?
Exactly.
You better hope you're right on that.
You better. But
ask the Kansas City Omaha Kings how that worked out.
Yikes! No, thank you. But some good arenas still standing for the NBA playoffs. But let's go ahead and get to a break. Wrap up our first hour. When we come back, we're talking more NBA with Keith Smith.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Happy Mother's Day from Gould's. Give the gift of relaxation, give the gift of style, give the gift of Gould's this Mother's Day with a Gould's gift card. Buy a gift card for $120 and receive $20 off May 1st through May 12th. It's always the right size and fit for professional salon services, spa services, and the best selection of exclusive hair and skincare products in Memphis. Pick up a gift card for mom at any Gould's or go to GouldSalonSpa.com and use code MothersDay24 to purchase online. GouldSalonSpa.com. Gould Salon Spa, turning heads since 1932.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
The 36th annual John Bull Bramlett Memorial Golf Classic is Tuesday, May 28th. This summer, Great Memphis Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, will have over 1,000 student athletes and coaches participating in camps. The funds raised from this golf tournament help send athletes to camp where they learn more about their sport as well as learning leadership skills while hearing the gospel of Jesus. For registration and sponsorship information, please visit memphisfca.org or email memphisfca@fca.org.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Right now, our biggest delay is over here in this construction zone, trying to get 55 northbound, let's say from Mallory there, 3rd, all the way up to Crump. That's a pretty good delay now that has developed out here in this construction zone going northbound on 55. Be careful. Sometimes it wants to really crawl between McLemore and South Parkway. 240 East, yes, it's busy over here at Poplar. It's been slow today up through the Midtown area. That's what I'm looking at, heavy traffic right now on 240 north from, let's say, Lamar all the way up to Union. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joins us now to talk the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He joins us, like all our guests do, on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Keith, thanks so much for joining us. I know we're going to talk plenty of NBA playoffs. Has some really fun series going on, but I got to start with the breaking news that is broke within the last 30 minutes. The Suns have fired Frank Vogel after 1 year. Did this come as a surprise to you, or with the kind of struggles this year, the early exit, did you expect something to happen within that organization?
Yeah, something was definitely going to happen, and they made it clear over the last several days that they were not going to move any of the big three, Devin Booker, Durant, Bradley Beal, because they just believe in those guys, and they believe those guys can lead them moving forward. So I think we're in a spot where, all right, they're not moving any of them. They may make other moves, but that's not going to be anything that's going to swing things one way or another. It's become the old, can't fire the players, so we're going to fire the coach. We got to do something. And in some ways, it's unfair because I think Frank Vogel's a good coach, and I think they didn't give him a roster that he did and everything they built. When Frank Vogel was hired, he said, we're going to turn DeAndre Ayton into one of the top defensive centers in the NBA, where we're going to do this and that. And then on the eve of the season, it's DeAndre Ayton's been traded. And now I'm having to rebuild my whole plans on the fly. And, but if he's not the right coach for you, you're better off doing it early rather than late. They clearly believe they had to go in a different direction.
And for Frank Vogel, he was with the Lakers when they won it in the bubble. Now out in Phoenix, Monty Williams was at Phoenix. He was out. That's how they got Frank Vogel. Does Monty Williams end up back or end up in Los Angeles as head coach of the Lakers?
No, because the Pistons aren't going to do anything with him. They're going to keep him because, remember, the Pistons signed him to that massive, long contract. Right. It was one of the longest and biggest, at the time, it was the most money a coach had ever been paid. Now that's been reportedly surpassed by a couple other deals. as far as annual value goes, but I think that contract still has 5 full years to run on it. So, yeah, I don't think anything happens with Monty Williams. And I kind of wonder if Monty Williams would say, hey, boy, hey, you're going to pay me for 5 years to sit at home and put my feet up or go do TV or something. I have no reason to run right back into a coaching job.
Was Darvin Ham wronged?
I think we lost Keith there maybe.
I'm still here.
No, he's there.
Keith, the question was Darvin Ham wronged?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I think I would have liked to see them give him one more year, but I think when the players are out, and it was pretty clear by the end that the players were kind of out on Darvin Ham. I think they were kind of done. Once you've lost the locker room, it's almost impossible to come back from that. So I think that part of it was not handled well by the Lakers. But I think it was one of those things again. If you're done, move on. It's better to do it early than do it late. You gain almost nothing by continuing to drag this out, because rarely ever, rarely ever does somebody come back from something like that.
Yeah. So who do you think are some candidates? Who do you think is in line for that position with the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're very interested in J.J. Redick and maybe going in that direction because there's just a lot of buzz around that, and that maybe that is the way they go. You know, we've heard that, but they're also slow playing it a little bit, which I think is the sense of let's just kind of see what else develops, who else maybe shakes loose here in the next little bit. What else comes our way, before we go. And I think for the coaches, any coaches they talk to, I'm sure the conversations are, well, is LeBron in the fold or not? Now, I always say there's only 30 of these jobs, so of course you're going to take it if you really want to be a coach. They're going to be begging anybody to come coach them. But I think they're in a spot where they were trying to slow play it a little. Now what's really interesting to me is we are in a spot where all of a sudden we've got the Suns who are in a very similar position, similar part of the country. They are in a similar place with an older roster that's designed to win now, probably about a 2 or 3 year window with that roster currently constructed. They're probably going to be looking at a lot of the same people the Lakers have looked at. That puts a little bit of pressure on each of them to act before maybe the other one gets the guy they may want.
3 jobs open right now: Lakers, Phoenix. That's 2 really good ones, and Washington. Is that the end of firings, resignations, coaching changes?
Yeah, I shouldn't laugh because but that's like that old Sesame Street song. One of these things is not like the other. That's kind of where the Wizards are at right now, but it's by design.
Yeah.
Washington was very much, long-awaited. Let's lean into a rebuild there. So I don't even think their fans would take any offense to that. So, yeah, I think we may be done. We're hearing a little bit of noise around Chauncey Billups in the Trailblazers. They did just fire a couple of his assistant coaches, including his brother. So that tells you a little bit of, all right, they may be basically saying, hey, here's where it is. That one, though, I think what probably happens is he's going to be given a goal of show tangible improvement. You don't need to be a playoff team, but let's just show guys are getting better. We're moving in the right direction. I'm on the court in Portland, and maybe what we run into is that could be one. Let's say they start something like 5-15 out of the gate next year. Maybe they're one of the early movers that makes a move. But for the rest of the guys, I think we're probably pretty locked in. The only one of the coaches that are still going right now that there's been any kind of in the playoff team is J.B. Bickerstaff, Cleveland. And I think there is a world where even though they won the first round series, if the Celtics embarrass them in 4 or 5 games and it plays out like Game 1 did with a bunch more blowouts, we could see the Cavs say, all right, we move on and go in a different direction here at head coach. I mean, maybe that's one more job that could come open.
Yeah, we're scared of that because we like him here, and he has taken on some tough assignments. All right, you're in the coaching business. You have either of these 2 jobs, Lakers or Phoenix. Which one do you take?
I'm probably taking the Lakers because it's the Lakers, right? Yeah. Like even if LeBron moves on in a year or 2, as long as you're getting it done as the coach and you're winning enough, it's the Lakers. You're just waiting for the next star who wants to play there. You're just waiting for the next guy who really wants to be a Laker, and then that's where you kind of go. So I'm leaning that way, but there's not a wrong answer because clearly the Suns under Matt Ishbia, they're willing to spend a lot of money. They're willing to, hey, let's get after it. Let's try to win. I want to be a really good team. So I think it's, neither one is necessarily a bad job, but yeah, it's the Lakers, and that's one of the premier coaching of all sports.
Yeah. Keith, we also learned today that the NBA has suspended Patrick Beverley for 4 games after everything that happened in the Bucks final game. He's throwing a basketball at fans from the bench, and so that's really what the suspension came down from. But then afterwards, it got even worse when he was telling somebody in the post game press conferences in the locker room that she needed to get the microphone out of his face unless she was subscribed to his podcast. It was just a very weird night for him. What did you make of that situation and now the suspension from the NBA?
Yeah, I think very warranted. I think what you're seeing the NBA basically say is if you involve the fans in any way that is negative, we're going to come down on you. Yeah. I also think the combination of Adam Silver and Joe Dumars, who Joe Dumars is the one who everybody says Adam Silver, but it's really Joe Dumars who hands out these punishments now. I think they have said, hey, if you're a repeat offender and you've got a track record of nonsense and foolishness, we're going to come down on you harder. It might have been, if this was Patrick Beverley's first thing, it might have been a suspension of games, and that's where we go. But there's a history here with him. So I think they're basically saying, hey, 4 games, and that's it. And now we'll see. We're on the borderline of, is he going to be signed by anybody or not? What does that look like? He's just at that point in his career where it's going to be, is he going to be back? But I don't think this makes a huge difference. I don't think there's going to be we don't have him for the first 4 games. Can't sign him. Somebody will sign him, but it's just going to be something. We'll all get there. We'll get through training camp, and then we'll get to day 1 of the season. We'll be like, wait, why? Oh, that's right. Patrick Beverley was an idiot in the playoffs last year, and that's why he's not out here on the court.
Keith, that's great insight by the league on any interaction with the fan. We're gonna be really rough because and by the same token, if that fan says something uncool, they're out of there and they're barred.
Yep.
So if what's good for the ticket buyer is good for the player as well. But I don't think that the Indianapolis police need to be involved.
Yeah, that part. That's where I think sometimes we get a little silly. And I get it. It would have been one thing if if it was unfortunately another Malice in the Palace where it was they're running out into the stands and fighting. That's a whole different story. Yeah, I mean, that's just, you see these things happen, police get involved. They never end up going anywhere. Rarely ever does it and it ends up getting dropped because through the teams is like, hey, talk to your local people there. Like, we're going to handle this internally as a league and, let it go from there. But at some point, some local jurisdiction's going to, we've had enough. Like, you can't treat people this way because if you did that, outside your studio and rifle the basketball at somebody's head, you're probably going to have problems.
Yeah.
Right? So I kind of think there's a sense of, hey, we can't just let it go here with this. And reportedly now he's saying there were other things said, but there was a point where what people were saying, and a lot of people backed it, is all the guy was saying is they broke the huddle was 3-2-1 Cancun. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, you can't take that kind of offense to that. Like, come on, you were getting knocked out of the playoffs. You can't get that angry about it.
Fair or unfair for Russell Westbrook to take the offense he takes at the derogatory nickname?
Yeah, completely unfair. Like, come on, that is a silly, goofy, stupid thing when they call him Westbrook. Like, I get it. You don't like it. It's not your name and all that stuff. But come on, man. Like, their fans can certainly say a lot of things that cross the line, and unfortunately, they do. We hear it, and sometimes sometimes the media sections are you're so far from the court. It's like, what's going on with those ants down there? But that's because they're packing and paying people. But and you hear it up in those sections. It's like, all right, no one can hear you. You're just now upsetting everybody around you. But when the players, when the fans close to the court are saying, there's a line that gets crossed. We all know what some of those things are. And one thing I will always say 100%, you never say anything to players family or anything like that. Yeah, you can have some good-natured back and forth, and we've seen some of that over the years between some people. But you don't go after their kids, their wives, their moms, their dads, anything like that. That's out of bounds. They're not playing in the game. But, yeah, if you're calling them Westbrook, come on. You can't have rabbit ears like that as a professional athlete. You're just going to let it go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah. Talking to Keith Smith. He joins us every single Thursday from Spot Track and the Front Office Show to talk the NBA. Last night, a fun game between the Knicks and the Pacers. The Knicks go up 2-0 now in this series, but has been two really competitive, really fun games to watch that have really come down to the fourth quarter. But as this series shifts back to Indiana, you look at these two teams, and for the Knicks, they're playing a 7-man rotation. They're out there playing these guys 40 minutes a game. Brunson got a little beat up last night, had to leave, but would have played 40 minutes if he was healthy in that game last night. Is that sustainable going forward for this Knicks team, or are they going to have to rely on some more of their bench pieces?
It's not sustainable, but I don't think they're going to change anything. Now, they're going to have some change they're going to have to make. They lost OG Anunoby, and I think it's getting a little underreported and a little under-talked about that he went out of that game because they won the game.
Right.
But I don't know that we're going to see him back in this series because it looked bad. It was one of those ones where as he came down the court, you could just tell something went with his hamstring, and then he did the whole very stiff leg, limped off thing. We get immediately now when a player gets hurt, I call them the Twitter doctors, but they're like real actual doctors. Like they will come on and say, here's what I think it looks like. With all of the, I haven't examined him. I don't know, all that stuff that they have to say to caveat it. But they'll tell you and they'll say, hey, and history tells us if a player leaves the game with any kind of muscle injury and then doesn't come back onto the floor to play, it's usually at least a week or two. So, to all that said, now you're down to 6 guys. You're down to 6 guys that you want to play. You're going to have to go to at least a 7th guy, maybe an 8th guy. So you just can't do it. I mean, Josh Hart, in their entire playoff run, has missed 15 minutes. I think it's 180 out of 195 minutes he has played so far in their playoff run. Like, that's just crazy.
He'll enjoy the offseason.
Yes, he will.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my worry for the Knicks is they're up 2-0. So maybe even going to, all right, next Jericho Sims slides in, plays a few minutes. Alec Burks slides in and plays a few minutes. I think they still can very much get by the Pacers. What I worry about is what are you going to do? And I'm counting my eggs here a little bit before they hatch, but what are you going to do when you play Boston? Like, they're far better than Philadelphia or Indiana, and then are you going to have enough left in the tank to get through that? I kind of worry about where they're going to be.
Since you brought up Boston, boy, my friends know me, and we talk about you a lot, Keith, even when we don't have you on, and how many times I've humiliated myself asking you about Brad Stevens' return to college basketball, and every time you've swatted it down just roundly. A friend of mine texted me and said, hey, ask Keith Smith if Brad Stevens is in play for Phoenix. That's how well my friends know me.
Yeah, I would say probably not. I would be pretty surprised at this point. I think what you may see happen with Brad Stevens is sometime within the next few years. I don't know the exact ages of his children, but I know they're going to be moving on to college and beyond here in the next few years. And then you may see him say, all right, I'm ready to get back into a play. He was restless. Very, honest. Like, I want to do family time. Like, I don't want to be, in a different city every night and, bouncing all over the country and those kind of things. And then when you're a front office executive, clearly there's some of that, right? There's traveling to, various, scouting events and those things and different places, but you can manage it a lot more. If if your kid has a game or a tournament, you can make sure you're home for it and, catch somebody some other place. So I don't know. I just don't think he's ready to make that kind of move.
Who's the team, the Celtics, organizationally, that they're going, we got to look out for this team. When we play them, look out.
I mean, this sounds a little cocky, but I don't know that it's any of the East teams. I think they'll talk about them with respect, right? No matter who it is in front of them, just like they have with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I think it's looking at the Western Conference, and I think it's still Denver because Denver's had their number. And it's still, until the champs are not the champs, it's still them. But I think they're probably looking at it a little bit and say, man, if Minnesota is going to defend like this and play this big, they can cause us some problems. Because that's the couple of teams that have given them issue this year have been teams that have been extremely physical with them, and then teams that have used their size to great advantage. Those are the teams Boston has struggled with a little bit. So I think that's who it could be if you could get them to look past the Cavs and then whoever is up next in the East.
Well, you just mentioned it, Keith. I mean, the way the Timberwolves have been defending really all year, but now it's being highlighted in the playoffs. And that last game, Rudy Gobert doesn't play as he goes and for the birth of his child. But even without him, the defensive player of the year, they're still defending at an extremely high level. Their guards are super long and have just been giving Denver a ton of fits. How do the Nuggets combat that length and that defense that Minnesota brings to kind of get back to kind of the Denver that we all know and love?
Yeah, one of the things that I always say in a playoff series when things start to go sideways is, all right, what is the adjustment? What can you do differently? And normally it's, all right, we'll play this guy a little bit more, change the lineup this way, change the rotation, do this, do that. It kind of feels like the Nuggets are almost out of answers.
Yeah.
Like it's really starting to feel like, I don't know what else they can go to. Now, one thing they can definitely do is I think they could raise their pickup points to their offense, start running it out closer to half court with some of their screen game, really stretch that Wolves defense up, really make them defend the full 47 feet of the half court, really make them work in that space and not just be able to lock in and back off. The Nuggets prefer to run their stuff closer, tighter to the three-point arc if you pull it back out a little further. The challenge is now you're asking your team to do something they have not done, and it's kind of similar to, people give this a lot of credit in football where it's like, hey, if you're supposed to run a 10-yard out, you run a 9-yard out, the whole thing can fall apart on you. And people get that. Well, it's the same way in basketball. If it is, I'm used to, we're going to run this, you're going to curl, you're going to be right here at the elbow, at the arc, and now we're asking you to take that 2 feet further back, that can be a problem, right? And it can just throw you off. But I think that's something they're going to have to experiment with and try. And the benefit for them is they've got an extra couple days here in between where I think, I'm going to guess Michael Malone and staff have been in the lab trying to draw up some stuff. But a lot of it is the best adjustment you can ever make in a playoff series, play better, right? Play better. You've seen how the Wolves are going to play. And I'm going to guess a little bit of the stuff that's been going on through the media, both for them and the Indiana Pacers, would not be a surprise if both the Nuggets and the Pacers take a whole lot of free throws in their respective game threes, because that's generally what happens in NBA history.
And they have sure lobbied for him. Keith Smith with us from Spot Track in the front office show. He's with us every week, and he's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line on Sunday night. The obvious is get the number one pick. Outside of that, what do you think the Grizzlies front office brass, what do they want out of Sunday night?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, either stick where you're at. You certainly don't want to get pushed back in the order, and I know it's not as good of a draft. And maybe they feel confident enough in, hey, the guy we like will get at wherever we select. So if teams push back, that just lessens the burden of that contract as we move into a new territory as an expensive team. So maybe they're feeling good about that. But, yeah, I think what's fun about the lottery is, teams will tell you all the time, they do all this work on the draft, but once the draft order is set, that's when you can really start to say, all right, now where do we think the teams in front of us are going to go and who's going to be on the board for us? And I know a lot of people have gone to, all right, well, Memphis has to go get a big. And maybe, right, but I think it's going to be highly dependent on where they're at. I think they will pick, to some extent, the benefit of this being a little bit of a flatter draft is you can take best player available without feeling like, well, we passed up on the best big man because, he was 3 slots lower on our particular board and those kind of things. You can feel pretty good about it because a lot of these guys, you talk to people, I've talked to so many folks and they've given me 4, 5, 6 different versions of the top 5, because they all feel very differently about all these players coming in. There's no real consensus on almost any of the guys.
Yeah. Well, it should be interesting. I know a lot of Grizzly fans excited for Sunday and the possibilities that are with the NBA lottery. And we've got 2 fun games tonight as well in the NBA playoffs. What do you think what do you expect to see tonight with this Mavs and Thunder's game? I was a little surprised at how Game 1 went with how the Thunder just kept their foot on the gas that entire game and really impressed in that one. What do you expect to see tonight?
Yeah, I think, you saw with Dallas the way they have to get it played. They have to play it under their terms. Has to be slower, has to be a little bit more deliberate. But if OKC can speed them up, get it played a little bit quicker, that plays into their style. And it's so hard for the Mavs right now. Luka is not himself. Right. He's just not moving well, and he's their single biggest matchup advantage. So I think let's go to Kyrie Irving. And I think there's a chance we see the Mavericks go to Josh Green or Dante Exum earlier in this game, as far as, hey, they're probably our best matchups for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's try to, almost say, as they like to say, cut the head off the snake and see if you can slow all the rest of it down. If you can slow him down, you're going to give yourself a chance. But the Thunder here, they're ready. They're making themselves known to anybody who doubted them.
Yeah. Well, it should be fun. Keith, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Keith Smith with us every week, and I'm looking forward to ping pong night.
I am.
Powerball.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I know.
Sunday night.
Feels like that excitement is starting to build for Sunday.
What would number 1 do for you?
Go
crazy?
For me personally, I would be really happy about it because then if you're super focused on drafting a big man, you take Sarr, and I would feel way more comfortable drafting him than any of the other bigs in this draft.
How good will that French Olympic team be?
Real good. And
young.
You give it a couple more years, it's going to be even better. Yeah.
Really young and going up against the Colossus that we're rolling out.
Well, what some people saying could be the greatest American team.
Could be, and they're going with really angry intent.
Sure.
Which I love.
Yeah.
And I want to drop a house on everyone.
I
want to beat Angola by 80.
Yeah, I mean,
and anybody writes, well, you don't have to do that. Yeah, remember last summer in the Philippines.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, you know how I am. I'm sure you're the same way when it comes to the Olympics. I'm watching every sport, and I don't care what it is. I don't watch it any other month of the year, but I'll watch it then, and I'll just want USA to win.
Experts.
That's right. I know everything about
steeplechase?
Yeah, I mean, what power walking or whatever they do out there. I mean,
those guys, boy, they're getting it, aren't they?
Sure are. I wish I could run, jog, walk like that.
I do love the track and field events, and it's the only time I watch.
Yeah, and no, I don't really keep up with.
Next time I check in will be Los Angeles.
Yeah,
2028.
It'll be fun. That'll be really fun.
How are we going to get the torch from Paris to Los Angeles? We got to put it on a boat, aren't we?
Gonna have to do something.
We're gonna have to do something. Put it on our beaming machine.
Oh, they get there real quick.
That's where it comes in handy. Sunday is Mother's Day. Every day should be, but Sunday's the day that we really take care of Mom, and everybody out there's looking and searching for the perfect gift. I've got it. It's the Gould's gift card. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com and get those gift cards. Get them for everybody that's near and dear to you in your life. And coming up for Dad, do the very same thing in June when we celebrate Dad. We ought to celebrate Mom about 183 days a year, 82 and a half days a year, and Dad the other 182 and a half days as well. Celebrate them in fine style like they have at Gould's for over 92 years, since 1932, when Mr. Sam Gould, he had a dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience, and it's been realized at his great places, family operations, sons, grandsons, granddaughters, valuable associates, from a small hair salon to today's juggernaut upscale ambiance, chic style that once was considered a Hollywood luxury. We have it right here in so many of these great locations. There's a Gould's location close to wherever you are in our listening area, from downtown to out east, and that website, GouldSalonSpa.com, that's the place to go for the best holiday gift for any season. Whatever holiday it is, that's the perfect gift. It's the Gould's gift card. The best spa packages, salon products, and the gift cards. They're the big hit. 92 years of distinction, 300 area Memphis associates to make you feel so good, a commitment to providing a unique fashion-forward experience. Go to
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra cart fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
World. Good afternoon. The fire department just put out a car fire in the Midtown area, 40 westbound off-ramp at Chelsea. It's still not causing a big backup, but they're wrapping it up right now. Speaking of backups, we got one out here. We got a couple, actually. 55 northbound, just trying to get up through that construction. It's just unbelievable today between Mallory all the way up to South Parkway, working your way to Macklemore until you get up to Crump. Again, northbound 55 in the construction is a pain this afternoon. It's slow over here. It's starting to slow even more on 240 East at Poplar. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We've talked a lot of basketball today, but Major League Baseball rolling right along. Before we get to baseball, and I don't know why this came to my mind. I think I just saw the tab open, and so I want to bring it up. Just want everybody to know, Johnny, make sure you're listening. Rory McIlroy leading in the Wells Fargo. Is that what we're at?
Hang a banner on
Is that
Thursday,
what we're playing? But I really bring that up because I was this close today, Brett, and I might round back to it if it's still there, to buying a Tiger Woods Sunday Red hat today. I was this close to pulling the trigger. I didn't.
You gonna do it?
I think I might. I don't know.
I think you should,
I haven't
man.
decided yet. I haven't decided
Will
yet.
he make it to Sunday to wear the Sunday Red? But I sent you the story today.
You did.
And I love Tiger Woods. I would love to go back 10 years and he really could be in a mix of stuff.
Yeah.
He's not. But the story, practice round at Valhalla.
It's always there. We always talk about those practice
62.
rounds. Oh, those practice rounds, Brett. They're amazing.
And he's so great, and I love him so much that I don't think he needs all this false
smoke and
adoration and supplication.
Almost like trying to build excitement.
We don't need to puff up Tiger Woods.
No. He already puffs up himself. He's Tiger Woods.
It stands alone.
Yes.
He's Tiger Woods.
Yes.
And I do, on the golf course. I don't know him. I don't want to.
No.
He doesn't want to know me. We're never going to run together. I love watching him swing those golf clubs.
Absolutely.
And it's been as good a TV. I said my favorite in my life. But all these stories. We came up here a month ago to Augusta, and he shot. He would have. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
When we know, okay, he might. I don't think he'll be 62, but he might have a Thursday, Friday, 65, which is a miracle.
Sure.
Miracle to be alive.
Yes.
A miracle to not have lost a leg.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not doing it over 4 days. He's not contending.
No. I mean, unfortunately, those days
to hear
are
that 62
behind.
stuff. I sent you that
Crazy.
today.
You did, and I laughed out loud when I saw it.
I don't like Tiger having to hang first round banners like you are with Rory McIlroy.
Right. Yes. No, I don't like it either. Back to baseball though. Some fun games last night. Some interesting games. And boy, I mean,
got you money's worth with Texas and
holy cow!
Bet the over.
Talk about runs. First game 9-4. And then the second one, 12-11, the Rangers win.
Most American League over-unders around 8.5, 9. Is that right?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Do you ever see many double-digit? You see 10s and 11s?
No, not
for
really.
American League?
You don't see a ton, no. And now, I mean, pretty much league-wide with kind of a lack of scoring this year.
Sure has been.
A lot of them have been kind of down, it seems. I mean,
National League runs in the 7.5, 8 range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't look every day, but I look some.
Sure. Yeah, but it's around there. But certainly, I would say league-wide starting to kind of drop a little bit just because of the kind of lack of runs. And, Brett, last night, again, here come the White Sox, winners over the Rays last night. They kind of owned the Rays this year. They swept them about a week ago. Now another win in this series.
White Sox from 3-22 to...
Look now, 9 wins. How about that?
Which is still under the Met 62.
It's still not great.
1962 number.
I saw a video last night.
They're still, all three are still on pace
that's crazy.
to break 62 Mets for futility.
That's crazy. I saw this video last night on YouTube that I watched, and it kind of blew my mind because I don't think I realized, but just how crazy this start of the season has been. And we're only a month in. I mean, you talk about all of from Oakland deciding that they're going to move and go to Las Vegas to now they're going to have to play in Sacramento to the thought and the stories being written about the idea that 2 of their players were benched and sent down to AAA for wearing protest wristbands to stay in Oakland. And then the whole Shohei situation from him signing with the Dodgers to the interpreter scandal. And now you got the White Sox, who are historically bad to start the year. Brett, we're only a month in. You got the number 1 player prospect being called up, son of a great player, gets called up, can't do anything at the majors, gets sent right back down. I mean, if the whole season lives up to this, it's going to be a fun Major League Baseball year.
Not quite to the quarter pole. I like the start.
Yeah. We've
really had to soldier through a lot of other stuff in other sports and the bad weather.
Oh, man.
I think baseball could hit a good groove this summer.
I think so. But you're right. The weather to start the season has been something. A lot of rain, a lot of cold weather.
Yankees are for keeps.
They are. And
Dodgers good. Braves
really
good.
Braves good.
Braves good without Spencer Strider.
Yeah, and so they're making it work, and I mean they're getting Lopez coming in, who was in the bullpen last
Philly's
year,
real
now
good.
starting. Philly's really good. Twins look good. They beat up on the Mariners early today, 11-1. Cubs are good. Brewers are good. I mean, there's some good teams. There's some fun teams to watch this
When the Cubs
year.
get good.
Who knows? And how do you change that? How do you make them not good anymore?
Like the Orioles, I say good stories.
I do too. I think a lot of good stories. I mean,
Kansas City,
another good one. There's plenty. There's plenty out there.
Look at the White Sox all the way up to .243 baseball.
Love that. Moving in the right direction. Only up from here.
It's one great thing about that, like $150 batting average on May 1st.
Yeah.
About anything, it'll go up.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to get much worse, but they're pretty much rock bottom right now, and they'll go a little bit later, about 6:30 or so tonight. But you mentioned the Yankees; they're in action today, down 3-0 right now. Still early, middle of second, 3 runs for the Astros.
The struggling
first
Astros.
inning. Really struggling Astros. They've really not been able to get anything. Pitching has really not been there. They've had some injuries. They're starting to get those guys back. Fielding haven't been good. They're making a lot of errors.
Have you seen Dusty Baker doing any TV?
You know what? I have not.
I haven't either. I thought I was hoping he would jump right back in there because he was great every time in between jobs, but I haven't seen him anywhere. Did you hear the great baseball analyst Greg and Eli have on this morning talking about what we alluded to, Sonny Gray being dealt?
Oh, I missed this. No, what was said?
I think it's got to be in play.
Yeah, I think so. I
mean, what he's going to cost you when you're winning nothing.
You're winning nothing, and he's certainly showing, and he'll go tonight, and 0.89 ERA right now. He's showing that he is dominating.
He can return.
Absolutely, and so I do think they're going to be, especially if he can keep this up. As you get closer to the deadline, you probably don't want to wait that long, but if you can give it some more time and kind of teams figure out who they are, and okay, this is a go for a year. We've got a team that's ready to compete.
I'm the Cardinals. I do it early. I think you get more.
Really?
And you don't run the risk of anything happening.
That's true.
The trade deadline forever in baseball was June 15.
True. But
I don't like it late. I want it to be earlier.
Right.
So you don't have you don't have time to see whether to hold or fold.
And I'm not saying trade him right at the deadline, but I think wait a little bit longer because I just don't know how many teams are out there on the market right now trying to make trades or
all those playoff teams
plays.
will.
They will. I just don't know what that return will be
trade
right
him to
now.
the Cubs?
I'd trade him to anybody, Brett.
Too,
if they're going to offer something that I think's valuable back, I don't care who I trade him to.
Call Baltimore.
Yeah, they got plenty to deal out, and that'd be a good team that they know what they are right now. They know they're competing. They know that they can add pitching, and that will help. And they've certainly got enough depth that they're not having to sit there and question: should we make this move? Should we move this guy? That'd be a great team to try to get on the phone and at least see what they would want.
But I'm not that concerned about everyday players. Got to have future.
I'm with you, and I think we're going to see a lot of that. I would not be surprised if they move Sonny Gray. I would not be surprised if they move Arenado,
and Johnny, here's one of the real perils of hanging a banner on Thursday of the golf picks.
Okay.
Has
just in this little bit of conversation, Roy McIlroy no longer leads at the Wells Fargo. John Gowen's second pick does. Xander Schauffele.
Man, that man John.
That would be 7-point-something million.
I almost got my my tournaments confused. I was about to say Higo's the first. Wrong
tournament, Dakey.
Xander Schauffele, 7 under in the clubhouse. Colin Morikawa, my player, 5 under, 1 hole to play. Rory McIlroy, 5 under through 13.
Plenty of golf left.
Plenty of golf, Brian.
I mean, he's just getting heated up.
Plenty of golf, Brian.
Johnny, Matt Fitzpatrick.
I know.
T58.
I know.
Wow.
You'll make the cut, though. Nope. Because this is no cut.
Brett, I was hoping that you were going to just skip over me.
Well, can't do that, No, you're in this. So
what's going on at the Myrtle Beach Classic? Anybody checked in? Oh, Ben Griffin. -4. You have him.
I do have Ben.
Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida.
And and I think he got done pretty early today. So hopefully Ben Griffin can continue to roll.
But even if you win there, it's just
I would love to win there, Brett. I think.
But does it have the same value? Do you think?
If I can secure that spot of being the secondary tour winner,
you'll take it.
I'll take it because I've already won one of these secondary tours.
Where you hanging that banner?
Right up there with all the rest of them. It's just as
with
good.
the in-season tournament banner.
If the Lakers can hang the in-season tournament banner along with all those other great banners, I can hang my secondary tour banner.
You want a medal too, Brian?
Please.
You see how it worked out for Darvin Ham, don't you?
Great point, Brian.
Guess so. Guess that's right. But no, so I guess we'll have to keep an update. Maybe I can get 2 winners this weekend. How about that? I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, hey, Brian, take it second by second, man.
I need to
start with that first one.
I need to stop. But we do have 3 games remaining on the day that have not started yet. That will be night games, kind of that limited slate on a Thursday. Cardinals, Brewers, Guardians, White Sox, and then Royals,
Cardinals.
Angels.
Don't trade Sonny Gray before next weekend's all I ask you. I want to see him pitch against Boston.
See him there and then say goodbye. And I think that would be a wise idea for them. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
The 36th Annual John Bull Bramlett Memorial Golf Classic is Tuesday, May 28th. This summer, Great Memphis Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, will have over 1,000 student athletes and coaches participating in camps. The funds raised from this golf tournament help send athletes to camp where they learn more about their sport as well as learning leadership skills while hearing the gospel of Jesus. For registration and sponsorship information, please visit memphisfca.org or email memphisfca@fca.org.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big. Big Daddy.
The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, my big number of the day comes from the NBA. I actually have two big numbers today. One comes from the NBA, one comes from the NHL, but I'll get to that in a second. My first one comes from the NBA, and it is 115. The New York Knicks have won 3 straight playoff games despite allowing at least 115 points in each victory. The only other NBA teams with such a streak in the playoffs were the San Francisco Warriors in 1967 and the Cincinnati Royals in 1963. So,
Cincinnati Royal reference. Very good.
Didn't think I was going to get that today until I saw that. My other big number, like I said, comes from the NHL. That number is 729. There have been 729 instances in Stanley Cup playoff history of an NHL team having a 3+ goal lead with 25 minutes left in regulation. Edmonton last night is the only one of those. Out of 729, Edmonton became the only one to have fewer than 5 shots on goal the rest of the way and lose in regulation. So a really, really bad finish for the Oilers last night.
My Canucks.
That's right, your Canucks. Johnny, I'm pretty sure it was his Maple Leafs last week, but I could be confused.
Wait 1 second. I think you're right, Brett.
Johnny, I'm also pretty sure that the last series the Canucks played in, it was the Canucks versus his Predators.
And my Blues.
And your Blues. So, interesting. I just wanted to be noted. I don't know if it means anything.
Hey, man.
I can jump the fence in hockey.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with jumping the fence, bro.
My big number is 78. That's the number of formal complaints on calls the Indiana Pacers have turned into the league. 78 to the league office. They're going nowhere. Nah. It's going nowhere.
Yeah, they need to stop. They need to stop.
They say that many incorrect calls. Somewhere in that 78, there's a couple.
Sure.
But I don't think that's the reason why they're behind.
How many of those 78 do you think are bad calls that they made in their favor?
I bet they didn't turn any of those in.
I'm sure there's plenty of those out there.
And it's why the league office, they're going to have to come down on Rick Carlisle. They should. He knows that. I think he was probably prepared to write the check as he was kind of lodging his complaint last night. But you can't have that much debate around what they had.
That's right. Well, and
with Tim Donnie,
this is only gonna intensify that crowd. You mix what he said last night, and now this formal complaint of all of these bad calls that happened while they were at MSG. It's only going to build for a better home field atmosphere, home court environment when they go back to Indiana. So we'll see what happens in Game 3. And I think Keith brought up a good point with all these minutes that the Knicks are playing, some of these injuries they're having. OG Anunoby had to leave. Brunson left but then came back. You might see them limit some of these guys in Game 3 with that 2-0 lead. And see what happens after that.
Do you see anybody seriously taking on Boston in the East?
No.
Print your finals tickets.
Yeah, I think it feels pretty good.
It could be fun a little while against the Knicks.
Sure, and that would be a fun series to watch and to kind of keep up with, and kind of the build-up before it. But I think it's a really good chance that we see them in the finals.
And I just don't think it's either Minnesota or Oklahoma City's time in the finals. That could be real fun, but I don't think they're going to beat them.
No, it really seems like Boston's year. It seems like their championship to lose, and if that happens, good for them.
If they got swept,
well, that'd be crazy.
Would anything happen to Joe Mazzulla? No, but don't get off to the rocky start next year. I wouldn't suggest getting off to the 5-8 start next year.
No, but I do think it would be very easy for Boston fans to turn on Mazzulla if things get a little bit bad. So we'll have to see what happens there. I wanted to bring this up for when we were talking about baseball. I failed to mention, but and I saw them talking about it on, I guess, one of these baseball podcasts. But one thing for when it comes to the A's, Mason Miller, their closer. He was a starter last year when they first brought him. Johnny, you've been paying attention to Mason Miller.
Yeah, I have, man. He's good, man. I like him.
He's been really good. He's been in that closing role and has done a really, really good job with them. And so there was a story earlier today about he's drawing trade interest, and that's unfortunately
that's unfortunate
when it comes with the when it comes to the A's.
Yeah,
that once you get a great player for the A's,
they go away. They go away.
It's very easy for them to trade him, deal him, find somewhere else for him to be. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see that with Mason Miller.
And for a lot of years ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be like that.
That's a great point, Brady. That's a very great point.
It's unfortunately a sad cycle that has been going on for a while.
And they're just going to be the A's next year. Not Sacramento, not Northern California.
Like. But I've seen conflicting reports. I think everyone's kind of agreed now on the Athletics, but right when it was announced, I saw a ton of conflicting reports.
I seen that too.
I seen that too. Just gonna be Athletics. Some people saying they're gonna say
this really matters,
Sacramento Athletics. Oh, I know.
Because next week when I go to the Cardinals Red Sox, I've seen the Red Sox at New Busch Stadium, but I'm 0-4 against them.
Wow.
I'm 0-1 against Seattle. They come in late September, but I can only go to a kind of one-off for Sunday afternoon because of college football.
Right.
If I got my win over Boston and I got my win over Seattle, I will have seen at least one win against everybody in baseball at New Busch Stadium. But I saw the Oakland A's. That won't count in Sacramento. If they become the Sacramento
only
A's.
If they become the Sacramento A's.
Well, you tell me. You be the judge.
Brett, I cannot be the judge.
I mean, if they roll in next year is just kind of the
Athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will I have to go see them to count it?
What do you think, Johnny?
Or will that still be Oakland until they're branded a city name? When they go to Vegas, no doubt. I have not seen the Las Vegas A's.
I kind of like
I'm
that
in
approach.
between.
I think I like the approach of if they're just the Athletics, then they're still Oakland.
Yeah.
Kind of just playing somewhere else.
And they do
sense.
come to St. Louis next year because the Cardinals were just there.
That's right.
I'll count it, Brett.
I don't know. I mean, if they're going to be here next year,
I count it, Brett.
I have to wait till
I would count it, Brett,
and then decide. Might be one where you try to cheap it out and say, okay, if I can make it work, then we'll go see him. If not, then we'll just say it counts.
I can't beat the Red Sox. Couldn't beat them at Old Busch Stadium.
Oh, jeez, and Brett, it might be ugly. You might not get a win against the Red Sox. If you never see a win against the Red Sox.
Oh, I'm going to keep going until I do.
I love it, Brett.
I like it.
Until you get one.
Never's a long time, but it's not as long as it used to be for me. It's getting closer.
That is an unfortunate way to end the segment.
Well, actuarial tables matter, Brian.
I guess so.
Insurance companies spend billions on them.
I guess so. I guess you're right. Well, on that note, let's wrap up this hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking Tigers with Greg Gaston.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family at the best prices of the year, guaranteed. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
The times they are a-changin'. Bob Dylan's song is even more meaningful today in the real estate industry. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Storff Realtors, and in the months to come, if you decide to sell your home, you better have a knowledgeable agent to guide you through the changes that are taking place. As I tell people, it's not that you don't know the answers, you don't know the questions. So, if you or someone you know is thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 experienced real estate brokers to guide you through the changes, but make sure that I am one of them. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in when you sell and what you make. We're also affiliated with leading real estate companies of the world, a relocation network that means added exposure for your home from buyers moving into the Memphis area. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, all shell done. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
This Mother's Day, let's celebrate the woman who held our scraped knees, cheered our victories, and nurtured our dreams, and show her the love she deserves. Of course, there's no single gift that can truly express the depths of our love, but this Mother's Day at Genesis Diamonds, we'll help you find something truly special. From sparkling diamonds to timeless pearls to colored gemstones, we have it all. And the trusted experts at Genesis are here to help you find the perfect piece that helps you say, "Thank you, Mom." It's a perfect time to see the amazing collection of exclusive and acclaimed jewelry designers at Genesis, like Gabriel & Company, Shy Creation, Tacori, A. Jaffe, Simon G., and more. You can find all the mothers in your life something unique, handcrafted and beautiful. Jewelry she can wear and appreciate every day. Mom deserves the best. Let us help make this Mother's Day truly unforgettable with something affordable yet timeless. Happy Mother's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We still see a couple of delays out here you need to know about. 240 eastbound is cranking up with more volume over here. It's getting sluggish there on 240 east as you come past Billmore's Parkway up to Poplar. It's been slow all afternoon long, and it still is over here on 55 northbound, let's say from Mallory all the way up to Crump. Again, it's just really frustrating in that stretch of 55. All those trucks are stacked up in there pretty good, actually, on 55 again in that construction zone. It's building over here at Warford, headed over towards White Station on 40 going eastbound. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now to talk some Tigers like he does every week at this time on a Thursday afternoon. As always, you can listen to Greg every single morning with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. How are you this afternoon?
Doing good, guys. Great to be on with you again.
Thank you, Greg. We appreciate you so much. Your Phillies are doing well.
They sure are.
They really are. They're hitting the ball incredibly well. Pitching's been great. Wheeler looks like a Cy Young candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Torres has been good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy where they are. It doesn't hurt that we know Strider's out for Atlanta, our chief rival, and I'm saying R. I'm using the R because I've been a Phillies fan since '67. So I've been a long time fan and a long suffering fan, Brett. Many bad years with the Phillies, but certainly off to a great start this year, and I hopefully for my sake, it continues.
Did you hold me responsible for the Wheeler jinx on his no-hitter a couple Saturday nights ago?
No, I don't hold you responsible.
I really had nothing to do with it other than texting you.
Yeah, he was cruising along, and
I thought your
and gave up
baseball
the
guy
hit.
was he's great every week. Kerry Miller was on with you guys this morning, and I had touched on it a few weeks ago about dealing Sonny Gray. He pounced on it this morning, and you saw that garbage last weekend. I think it needs to be done.
Yeah, Sonny Gray is it's an expensive pitcher to have, although he seems to be the only one who's doing anything. So when he's out there, there's a chance to win a game, but it hasn't been good. You know it hasn't been good. You got to think about the future. You got to think about payroll and bringing in what you can get for a guy like him as far as pieces, because it's going to be a rebuild here. I don't know what's going on with Goldschmidt. You think he'll come out of it sooner than later, but it hasn't happened. You got some young guys that haven't produced yet, and that's why a couple of them are back in Memphis. There's rehab, guys going through rehab. Carlson just came back. I mean, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here. So, yeah, it wouldn't be a surprise if he's dealt. But, again, I understand the plight of the Cardinals fan. When Sonny Gray goes out there, he can win any game he pitches.
Greg, I did a college football only show, year-round college football show today in Atlanta, Chuck Oliver's show. And on it, they had me on to talk a lot of Ole Miss, but then said, let's talk some Memphis Tigers. And with all these way, way, way too early, brackets being put out, there's a lot of buzz for the Tigers. And I made this comment, and I made it, Brian, after yesterday we were talking about sometimes in sports now it's way too much oversell. And I don't always like that everything's got to be the biggest thing ever.
Sure.
But then I said this morning. I said, in my area where I am for college football this year, in about an hour's drive, I will be watching the best combination in that tight of an area play college football quarterback than anybody in the country this year with Seth Hennigan and Jackson Dart.
I don't think there's any question. I mean, two guys that have been around the game for a while, especially Hennigan, who's been at Memphis since day number one playing and starting. Dart, he just took over Oxford. He is a guy that is beloved.
Third-year guy.
A very popular player. Yeah, very
but
popular
it ain't fourth
player.
year like Seth.
Exactly. I mean, Seth, as far as being a starter for 4 years and having started every single game since he got there, I don't know if there's another quarterback in the nation that fits that role, that has done that. I mean,
when will we have another one anywhere?
I don't know. I don't think so. In this day and age, too.
Yeah.
The way the quarterbacks bounce around. I mean, it's hard enough going back in time to see a quarterback that came in as a true freshman and play from day one and start from day one, let alone during this day and age when guys are leaving to go into the portal. And Seth told me he could have went somewhere else. There were certainly overtures. There were teams that were contacting him.
Yeah.
And he never went in the portal. So, that's a no-no, but teams do it all the time now.
I think some of our neighbor friends in the SEC.
Sure.
It may very well have been, and why wouldn't it be? So Hennigan is one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the entire nation. Dart obviously has made his mark in Oxford. I looked at as you said, those way too early top 25. It's something to talk about, right? It's always a good time, I think, to talk college football all year long. So you get to the slow time and you have these polls or these lists and you discuss them. You discuss them, I discuss them on our shows. But to see Tennessee in there, to see Ole Miss in there, you expected those. But to see Memphis in there as well in the USA Today preseason, way too early top 25, it's really cool. It could be a very special year for our region of the country.
It sure could be, and we talked yesterday. I know y'all did as well. I was listening, and if that was 100% accurate, that would be 12-seed Memphis going to Austin at DKR, Darrell K. Royal Stadium, and playing the Texas Longhorns. Greg, the whole day for you would be on cloud nine to be on the field of play at Darrell Royal Stadium.
Yeah, I got the chance to actually go to that stadium
See
as
your
a
Terrapins,
fan. Yeah, to watch Maryland beat Texas, and that atmosphere was absolutely incredible.
When they hit Eyes of Texas pregame, it's big league, isn't it?
Oh, it's big league, and then you ratchet it up in the playoffs. right?
Yeah.
No matter who they're playing, whether it's Memphis or Alabama or Ohio
Anybody's
State.
playoffs.
It's a playoff. So you take all that atmosphere and you times it by 5 or 10, and I couldn't even imagine that situation. I mean, it was great playing Penn State in the Cotton Bowl down in Texas. That was great, but this would pale in comparison to what it would be. And here's the thing. It's not – we're all dreaming a bit, but it's a possibility. It's not like this is
I think it's very in play.
Right.
But a lot of us are dreaming. Ole Miss was never getting into the 4-teamer.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was a 4-teamer this year, Brett, wouldn't you think they'd have a chance?
Texas and Georgia and Alabama aren't going away.
No, they're not. But Ole Miss, I mean, they're in position to battle them. So, but I understand your point. When you have 12, you got 3 times as many as what you have.
Got to go to Baton Rouge.
What's that?
Got to go to Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, I understand.
Got to do that 4-team or 12-team this year.
But your point being with 12, obviously you have a lot more opportunities, and especially with the SEC and the Big Ten, because they're going to get the plethora of the teams. But for Memphis, and we've talked about it now for several weeks, it's not one of these far-fetched, crazy, never going to happen outlandish dreams. It's a possibility, and that's why there's so much excitement.
I wore it as a real badge of honor to be on that show today and be talking Ryan Silverfield, Seth Hennigan, the last 10 years of Tigers football, all those quarterbacks over 3 different coaches. I love being able to do that. People recognize around the country Tiger football. Greg, I'm going to ask Bryant this question tomorrow. At 5 when we do high hard ones. Okay. I'm going to ask you today. So, Bryant,
good. I get some homework.
Save your answer for tomorrow. Johnny, save your answer for tomorrow.
I will.
Greg takes a swing at it today. Let's go crazy. Let's really get out there, Greg, and say the Tigers pull the Week 3 upset down at FSU. They finish the season 12-0. They host and win the AAC championship game at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. That's 13-0. That could even be 4 seed. That could be 4 seed for Memphis. But let's say it is in that 12 spot. And Seth Hennigan has the numbers we expect him to have. If he did all that, regardless of winning that, if he won, I don't think it's any doubt. But if he lost at Texas to the Texas Longhorns, would he be the number 1 University of Memphis athletic sports figure of all time?
Wow, that is a hard one.
Yeah, Greg, I'm glad I get the night to think about it. Good Lord.
I'd have to think about that for a second. Obviously, when you look back at the history of men's basketball, you have had teams that have gone to the big one,
final
game for the championship. This would be making it into the playoffs of college football, D1A. You're talking about a huge accomplishment, but it would not be the championship game. But you're talking about the actual figure himself. Mm-hmm. He will have all the records, all the passing records at the University of Memphis. He will have taken them to the highest of heights.
The question is, how many football records does it take to top Larry Finch, Penny Hardaway's basketball records?
I don't know. A lot of it, you're asking me, a lot will depend on who you ask. Other people that are just certainly beloved figures, not beloved figures, but beloved fans of the game of basketball and Memphis basketball's history will probably defer to a Larry Finch or defer to even a Derrick Rose or Chris Douglas Roberts or whoever. They'll defer to the basketball player. But when you think about what he will – here's the other thing. If he has that type of season, he wouldn't win it because, I'm sorry, they're not going to give it more than likely to a group of 5 player. But he would be in the Heisman talk because he would put up those numbers. And if that team is right there and do what they say the scenario of doing what they would do, which is undefeated, go 13-0 going into the playoff, he would be looked at as at least a candidate, an outside candidate. D'Angelo Williams was an outside candidate.
He was.
They promoted it very nicely in the school, but there was never a chance he was going to win it, and that's from a team that did good things.
It was too many
losses.
losses.
Not what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. So, in a long-winded answer to your question, I would think that if that happens, I think it may be. I think Hennigan may be the most would be one of the most, if not the most decorated player to ever put on a Tiger uniform, no matter what sport.
Wow.
And here's the thing: he's not getting. I don't think he's getting enough national attention going into the season. We look at some of the quarterbacks that are out there; they're already the talk about. One thing's the Heisman, but when you start talking about, oh, these guys are going to be the first, second, third picks for the NFL draft, I'm not saying Hennigan is a first-round draft pick. But I'm saying if he puts together another great season, he's big, he's strong, he has a great arm, he's cerebral, and leads that team to heights, his draft stock is going to balloon. It's not going to be a Paxton Lynch situation. I don't think he's going to be, even with that, a first-round pick, but he's going to be a high draft pick. And right now, there's not enough talk about him. Obviously, you went on a show and talked about him today. That talk has to really originate from us here in Memphis. But I think before too long, if they go down to Tallahassee and win that game against Florida State, there will be people taking notice nationally about that quarterback and that team.
Absolutely. Talking to Greg Gaston, he joins us every single Thursday afternoon to talk Tigers. I'm curious, I know this transfer portal, the spring transfer portal, when it comes to football, isn't as big as the one right after the season in the winter, but still movement from a lot of teams. What have you thought about what the Tigers have done? They've certainly lost a handful of players, but have added running back from UMass, the edge from Oklahoma, Reggie Grimes the second. You get an offensive lineman from Old Dominion that was previously committed to Washington before flipping his commitment to Memphis. What have you made of what Ryan Silverfield has done during this transfer portal?
It's pretty much what I expected. They were going to lose a few guys. Mm-hmm. They were going to bring in a few guys. That's exactly what happened. They did get poached for two of their defensive backs from Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. Not surprising. Matt Barnes, obviously having those connections, knowing what they needed at Mississippi State, and probably no-brainer for those guys to leave and to get more NIL possibilities down there at Mississippi State. So Memphis went out, like you said, and they got three players. They have not gotten a defensive back. I still believe that they may, or I know they're trying, but they may still bring in another defensive back. You can't have enough. Right. You also can't have enough offensive linemen. Like you said, they were able to get an O-lineman from Old Dominion. Seems like a little mini pipeline that's being built between Memphis and Old Dominion. And then they went out and they got a little bit more running back help because you lost Jay Ducker in the portal, and they got an edge rusher. And I think he's done a very good job. We talked about it on previous shows, how we felt last year about the job they did in the portal. I think Memphis has done a very nice job. Obviously, there's going to be more money now available for these players with NIL. I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and beat out Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State for players, but they're certainly going to be right there to be able to offer the most of the group of five schools and some of the power schools. So certainly I think it was what I expected and very positive, but I would not be surprised if they land another defensive back.
I'll be shocked if Reggie Grimes is an instant big-time impact.
Oh, my gosh. And I think they're a little thinner on the defensive line than they were going into last season. They certainly got some good players. Whitlow, I love. I think he's going to have a standout year and possibility of an all-conference player. Cromartie Hamilton has been there now for a while. They got some other guys that are going to get their opportunities, but Grimes is big time. I think he can step right in and be a force.
Yeah. I'm with you. Well, speaking of, you mentioned that hard to compete with some of those teams out there, like Alabama and the SEC schools when it comes to transfers. But they have been making some headway with a pair of high school recruits going up against some Power 5 schools, four stars. And you
still have to do that.
And you absolutely do. But a pair of 4 stars, a quarterback, and an offensive lineman from Houston County down in Georgia. I'm sure you've seen the stories and stuff on social media. It sounds like the Tigers are in a good spot with both of them. Both those guys will be visiting here over the summer, June 7th, I believe. What have you made of this? Ryan Silverfield going out there and to him it doesn't matter. He sees a good player, he goes out and recruits it, and it sounds like both have been really impressed with what Ryan Silverfield and the rest of his staff are selling them on Memphis.
Well, one, they got a heck of a staff that do a great job recruiting. So it's not just coach. Coach is the finisher. a lot of these assistant coaches, if not all of them, are on the road.
Yep.
And they're doing a great job in recruiting. What it tells me is that in the past we have seen with basketball that Penny is in on every player.
Yep.
It seems like if he's after a player, they'll at least take a look. They'll visit Memphis. They'll put Memphis on the list. He doesn't get them all, but as far as big names are concerned, Memphis certainly is able to get players over bigger schools. They have done it in the past. They'll continue to do it, although I think it'll be a little harder now because, again, of the difference in NIL, although with Memphis, the big the money they're getting from FedEx is going to help. But if you get into a bidding war, I think now kids are more apt to take the highest bid as opposed to maybe the particular coach they want to play for, the school they want to play for. Certainly, with that said, to hear names put Memphis on their list for football when their other names are huge programs says an awful lot about Memphis and the margin that they're cutting into from these power schools. I'm not saying it's close. I'm not saying they're on the same firm ground, but they are certainly making a dent into it when they get those players to put Memphis down as one of the 2 or 3 or 4 schools they're going to go visit, and the other ones are the Clemsons and the Alabamas and the Ohio State. That's a feather in the cap for this football program and what it has done at least to become more relevant nationally, and I think they'll continue to be able to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Talking to Greg Gaston. Greg, I'm curious kind of over on the basketball side because it feels like now, I mean, you got to keep up with both. Everything's happening with both sides, but the Tigers add Tyreek Smith from SMU, had a couple good games for SMU last year against the Tigers. Certainly brings more front court depth. What have you made of that addition and what Penny Hardaway is continuing to do with this transfer portal?
Well, half of his guys that he's gotten so far have the connections to the American Conference.
Right.
One with SMU. Of course, SMU's leaving to go to the ACC. So Penny has had that bird's eye view, right, to see these players go up against his team so they know what they're all about. And those players, in turn, know what Memphis is about, having gone up against them. Some have done really well against Memphis. So he certainly knows what players that he wanted, and he went after them, and he's done a pretty good job getting them. But what we've also found out that players, and I think we talked about this last week, that get on campus don't necessarily sign now with Memphis. It used to be when Penny gets them here, it's signed, sealed, delivered. There's not going to be another opportunity to go somewhere else because they weren't going to get out of Memphis. Well, that's not the case anymore. But that's not because of Penny. That's not because of the program. That's not because of the hard work that they do. Not because of the facilities, of course. It's because of NIL. And if Memphis offers this and somebody offers more than that, then more than what they're offering, then they're going to probably go in that direction. But I still think he's done a nice job. I like that he's been more diligent. He's been patient. He's finding guys that fit more his mold of being defensive-oriented players. But I still think we know there are a number of players he still has to get to fill the roster. I still think shooting is right now limited. I think he still needs to go out there and find some shooting, and he still needs to find some bigs. So whether or not it's going to be 5 guys, 4 guys, 6 guys, whatever the case may be, and I think, 6 scholarships that he still has available, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, but whatever the number is, he's got to fill those voids, and that's, again, shooting and bigs, because right now, from a big standpoint, all he has is Dane Danger, the transfer from Illinois. So I think that's what he's working on right now. By the way, tonight, the Tigers on tour in Collierville at Rotolo, so Penny will be there speaking, and Ryan Silverfield will be there speaking, and maybe Penny will have a little bit more information without getting specific on the recruiting and the recruiting strategy. But he wants to have all the guys in, if possible, by June 1st. Well, again, it's May 9th?
May 9th.
And he hasn't filled that roster. So in the next 3 weeks, I think you're going to see him fill that roster, and I think that's the 2 areas that he'll be concentrating on.
Greg, I know it can be sold, and I know it'll be bought by some, but do we have a big appetite for the return of Moussa Cisse?
No, we don't have a big appetite. Now, if you're going to tell me that they're going to be perimeter-oriented, guard-oriented, and they're going to go into a season with Jourdain and Deja, and that's it, I would say no. Bring the guy in because at least we know he can block shots and maybe rebound the basketball. He can't score. He doesn't have good hands.
You
Hands
can't
haven't gotten
you can't
better.
run anything to him. It's just stick backs.
Exactly.
Couple out of bounds plays on the end line you can run.
But it's a guy that plays
Alley-oops.
the 12 to 15 minutes and has the size. He can make the maybe key block in a game that comes down to the final moment. So, yes, if you tell me that it's going to be hard to go out there and find reputable bigs and you can get Cisse, then I would say go ahead and bring him in. But if you can get a couple of other guys who are a little bit more versatile, can get up and down the court a little bit better, and have a little ability offensively aside from dunks, then I would say you go after those guys.
Yeah. Greg, last thing for you. I know we talk a lot of Tigers with you, but I am curious, Sunday afternoon, big day for the Grizzlies with the draft lottery. Do you think the Grizzlies get good news? Do you think they move up from that 7 spot that they're currently at?
Well, tomorrow, shameless plug here for Sports 56 Mornings, we will have our official. Unofficial draft lottery.
I love it. I didn't think we were ever going to do this again, but we're doing it again.
Exactly. I didn't think we'd be doing it again either.
I thought we mothballed the machine.
It returns, so I don't have an answer, but I will have an answer tomorrow because I believe we have the best. This is the best, I think, and most reasonable way to predict what will happen on Sunday is through our Sports 56 Mornings official, unofficial draft lottery. Tune in. We'll tell you exactly where the Grizzlies are going to be drafting.
Greg, really weird. Wasn't this Christmas, but Christmas before last, I was helping around here put the old Christmas decorations up and saw the machine in one of the utility closets and thought, you will never need that again. Y'all break it down.
We should have put it on eBay, sold that darn thing, made a good profit.
It was right over there by some old Vanquish chairs and a couple things from old studios, and I didn't think we'd ever need it again.
We have some artifacts, don't we, in that building?
Greg Gaston with us every week. He's brought to you by Jim's Place, Collierville, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, the law offices of Stephen Leffler, and Neil's Bar and Grill. I hope you didn't put a permanent hex on the Cardinals last weekend.
Oh, jeez.
I hope not, but they were bad before I got there, so I'm not taking the blame for that.
It wasn't your mystical powers, huh?
No.
Good stuff, Greg.
I don't blame you either, Greg. And any other year, I would blame you for that, but you're right. They have been bad all year long. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. Take care.
You got it.
Thanks, Greg. Greg Gaston always joining us to talk Tigers, and we got to tune in tomorrow to hear where he thinks the Grizzlies
next
will be
Thursday.
drafting.
Greg has a baseball game.
Oh,
I think we'll try to get him with you on Friday.
Good deal.
Next weweek.
Good deal. Yeah, all those.
If he can.
Sure.
He may have a game on Friday. We may have Greg on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to figure that out. As pretty much every team starting their series next week on Thursday, so that they can figure out, use Sunday. Most of those conferences use to figure out what their conference tournaments will look like.
Anyway, the AAC multi-bids?
For baseball?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So if East Carolina didn't win the automatic?
Oh, well, then that would be too bad. East Carolina's
Do they
one of the
roll
best
to
in the
it?
country. I think so. East Carolina's unbelievable.
Gotcha.
I mean, they're one of the top 10 teams in the country, and so I think they'll make it look easy. I'm trying to get through I don't think there's anybody. I think the only other team that could be up there, Charlotte. They haven't had a great year. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a one bid, but certainly if
the
they
Tulane
lost,
program's taking some hits.
They have, but they're starting to play
Yeah,
better.
they have,
Rice
Brett.
is not what they used to be. But yeah, hopefully, and Tigers still need to do some work to try to make sure they're good and get a
Need
spot
some
in there.
year-over-year continuity in the Tiger program.
Certainly.
I think Coach Reiser's providing that.
Sure, and Coach Reiser, he it looks like he's doing a good job this first year, and we'll see, a full off season. I like some of the guys he brought in.
And for the baseball guys, they're kind of looking at basketball and football and the rest of the sports going, welcome to my world.
Sure.
We had to put this thing back together every year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have. They have.
No, absolutely. So I do love this Tiger baseball program. We'll see, what kind of improvements they can make this offseason and see what year 2 under Coach Reiser looks like. But we'll definitely figure out what day we can get Greg on next week. Let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app. or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hot wings. What's your favorite flavor? The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 32 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Crazy Lemon Twist, a savory, zesty, and citrusy taste of fresh lemon twist. The Jalapeno Cheddar, an acidic and spicy flavor completed with a burst of sharp cheddar. Or Crazy Sweet Heat, tangy sweetness followed by the heat. And that's just 3 of the amazing 32 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the Crazy Coop Special. Choose from 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, fries, and drink, all for just $9.99. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Hey, baseball fans, go yard with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. All season long, we're offering top odds on your favorite home run bets, shared $50K Grand Slam jackpots, fast and convenient ways to play same-game parlays, special boosts and tokens, and so much more. From the first pitch to the game-winning fireworks, there are more ways than ever to supercharge your excitement. Whether you want to combine multiple bets for the chance at a bigger payout or place a live bet as the game unfolds, BetMGM has all the home run betting options you could need. Download the BetMGM app, head to the ballpark, and get your piece of MLB action. BetMGM is an official partner of Major League Baseball. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Tennessee only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It still wants to run a little bit heavy over here on 240 East, working your way past Popular up to Walnut Grove. Just that time of the afternoon for it to get heavy, and it is on 240 East from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. Still wants to run a little bit slow today. This has been our biggest slowdown, actually, here in Memphis on 55 northbound in this construction zone, trying to get from Mallory at times all the way up to Crump. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Make it Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in to Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We got a little bit less than 30 minutes left in today's show, and we gotta talk about some news, unfortunately.
It's good and sad.
It's good news, but also bad news. Johnny, you've got some news that you would like to tell us.
Oh, yeah, man. It is good and, of course, sad news. I got an opportunity, man, with Rob Parker to work at Sports Rap Radio in Detroit. It's a new station, and I'll be a reporter and a producer, and I'll be covering all of the sports, man, the Pistons, the Lions, and also the Detroit Tigers. Right. So I'll be a reporter on the floor. But let me first thank y'all, man, because I'm so grateful to work with y'all, man. Y'all make it so easy. Y'all always believed in me. Even when I would mess up, man, y'all always gave me confidence, man, and I'm just grateful to y'all, man. And that's also something that Rob Parker do as well. He gave me confidence, and he believed in me and gave me opportunity like y'all, man. So I'm grateful to this station. I'm grateful for what's the future to hold, and man, I'm just grateful, man. I'm thankful.
Tomorrow will be your last day. You let us know a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Matt, you did everything as you did in every step here, Johnny. Top shelf, first class.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad, they don't need me telling them this, but your mom and dad can be very proud of the young man that you are and that they help raise. And you've done well, and you've done it so well with us. And when you called and told me, the first thing I said to you, I said, let me help you pack.
Yeah.
You got to take it. It's a great opportunity. And Rob Parker, a name everybody should know and knows. A media titan himself, and I am so happy for you. Now, you left out the team I told you that I want you to go see.
Oh, the Michigan. Okay, Michigan. I got to go, man.
You got to go to the big house to
I gotta
a
go.
Wolverines game, and we're going to be checking on you quite often as friends that we are.
Yeah,
and
great friend.
How proud we are of you, but also we're going to throw you on the air with some.
Certainly.
And tell the Lions this year when they get in the playoffs to play for keeps.
Honestly.
I will, man. And man, I'm a very faith-driven person, man, and I don't think God make any mistakes. So I thank God that I came to this station because y'all taught me so much, and this friendship gonna last forever, man. I'm grateful.
And we're going to keep your picks going on hockey and NBA.
Yes.
So we're gonna have
Keep
to
it going.
We're going to have to keep tapped in with you for those. But your Twitter handle at JohnnyBlessed8, everyone needs to go follow you because, like you said, you're going to be covering all those teams. I know how active you are on social media.
Yeah.
So,
and you'll be at the Rocket Mortgage Classic with your your
right.
vast golf knowledge now.
When I told
hey, Brett, I will.
I told Johnny.
Like Brett said, I got to go there.
That's right. When I told you yesterday, me and Johnny talked about this because you brought that up, and I told Johnny last year at the Rocket Mortgage, they had this like great line of like golf streetwear that was like a Rocket Mortgage Detroit exclusive that they were not going to have at any of their other events. And I told Johnny that if they did that again, I was gonna cash app them some money and have them go out there and get me some stuff.
Yeah.
And we said around draft time, never knowing any of this would happen.
Yeah.
And it has happened. Detroit is back.
Yeah, it
roaring
is.
back.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm so excited for you now.
Sure.
We're just like at Christmas time. We're not much on going away presents. We've had a little party.
Yeah.
But if we did have a going away present, it'd be a big old coat. You're going to need it in Detroit.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Some long johns.
Enjoy those 2 days of summer, the 3rd and 4th of July.
After that, it's straight winter.
Straight winter.
Yeah, you have fun up there with all of that.
It's the frozen tundra.
Hey, Brett. Hey, man. Ice. That's a little different, man. Ice on the ground.
They were smart to get a dome. Detroit used to have those cold weather games.
Yeah, I seen that back in the day.
They did. I mean, their Thanksgiving Day games used to be some tough stuff, and later in the year.
Yeah, I see, because the NFL films.
Good time. Tigers on the rebound. Pistons young, and I think a lot of good pieces.
Yeah.
But just young. Got battered a lot this year.
The Lions.
The Lions, and your new favorite sport, the Red Wings.
That's right. I was waiting for you to say it. Johnny didn't mention it when he talked about the teams he's going to cover.
Hockey expert.
Hey,
make sure you wear your coat when you
hockey
go to the
expert.
hockey game.
I'm a hockey expert as well.
That's right. Got any questions?
I know your parents are happy, and you're going to make that move this weekend.
Oh yes, me and my parents, we leave on Tuesday to make it there on Thursday. Yeah.
Good deal.
But Johnny, we are going to check with you during football next year.
Yeah. Yes, man. Call me, man.
And I know you'll keep an eye on your beloved Tigers because
oh, man,
you put in a lot of work out there for Coach Silverfield's program.
Man, when I tell you the relationships that I made with that facility, man, it's going to last forever, man. Past it all, man.
Johnny, you inspire good relationships, though. Both you and Brian are so devout. I tell y'all all the time. Yeah. when y'all go, pray for my sorry old soul.
Brett, I pray for you every night, man. I pray for you every night.
But I respect that so much about you, and I knew it was love at first sight with us.
Yeah, man. Man, when I tell you, y'all make it so easy to come to work every day. Brett, y'all,
keep it fun, don't we?
Y'all make it so fun. I know I'm going to laugh. I know I'm going to learn. I know I'm going to. Man, I learned something new every day this week about Brett. so
certainly about his music choices.
Yes, man. So like, I'm so grateful, man, and to see me and Bryant, like we came literally from the same class, from Miss TK class, to doing this live, man. It was like, man, this is amazing.
I adore that University of Memphis broadcast journalism program because I've been able to work with and see so many great people out of it and what they're doing around town. And to deal with the young people today, I tell people all the time that want to grouse about today's younger generation. When they start, I ask them, do you deal with any of them? No, none. No. I said, I can tell by you saying that because I deal with a lot of them.
Sure.
And I see greatness.
Yeah. Certainly differences.
Yeah, man.
But you came in today and saw you walked in. I was on my computer. I had my tablet open. I was on my phone while doing all this. And Brian, you looked at Johnny. And you could. Brian likes his tech now. I'm a tech guy.
Yeah, he is.
There's some differences.
He is.
But,
and I can barely work this ink
pen.
So I have to have y'all.
That's right. Well, Johnny, we're definitely happy for you.
And we're going to talk about it more tomorrow.
We are.
Yes,
we definitely
man.
are.
Thank y'all, man. Y'all, I'm telling y'all mean a lot to me, man. More than y'all can know, man.
They're
y'all
getting
really
a great one.
They definitely are.
Thank you.
And I don't know who else they're putting together for that great team.
Yeah.
And Rob's got a great idea and a great plan. But if they're all like you, y'all are going to crush it.
Yeah, man, and I got to talk to some of them. Montez, he's a very talented young man. He come from Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure I'm working with. Of course, I'm working with BJ Armstrong. He got a morning show. Yeah, and of course, JR the Gambler, man. He's one of the founders of MLB Bro, and I work with him, man. And he's such a great guy, just like Rob. He's another great mentor who are really brought like encouragement and really belief in me. So I'm grateful to all of them. I'm looking forward.
Are you going to tell B.J. Armstrong, I work with this old guy in Memphis, that he swears in his basketball career the ball never went through the net for an actual goal except for scoring incorrectly on an auxiliary goal? Are you going to tell him that? Are you going to tell a Chicago Bull legend
going from that to Chicago Bull legend? That's quite a difference, Johnny.
Hey, man.
Only time the ball ever went through the goal was on an auxiliary goal, Johnny.
Hey, man, I will tell him.
I tell you what, Brett. Between this station and how much I listen to all the shows on our station, to Brett, my Seattle station that I like to listen to, and now Johnny's Detroit station. It's going to be a lot of listening of radio
nationwide.
So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make it all work. But don't be confused, Johnny. I'm gonna make it work.
Hey, Brian, are you gonna wake up early, man?
I told you. Look.
But we all know. We all know Brian wake up at 10 o'clock.
Look, everyone at this station has learned that I'm not an early bird. But I told you, Johnny, your first day, I'm going to wake up early to listen live. Now, I can't promise I'll be listening live the other days. I might be listening on record, on demand, on the podcast. But I'm telling you, the first day I'll be listening. I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you when I tune in that I'm listening so that you'll know.
Okay, man. I'm looking for. I can't wait to see that.
Johnny, you leave big shoes to fill.
You are.
Man, thank you. Man, I appreciate that, man. I really am. Y'all just don't understand how grateful I am for y'all, man, because the belief.
We're grateful for you.
The belief, man, like a lot of people, they don't take the time to really.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, man. So
I tell everybody that comes in here that do your thing.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, I've made them.
Yeah.
I mean, I 1 year out at the golf tournament, nice young man, and I could tell he was a little nervous. He was interning for us here at the station, and I asked him, I said, first time you ever been to a pro golf tournament? He said, first time I've ever seen a golf course. You know, he's running down guest stuff.
Sure.
I said, do you think I came out of the box like this? Do you think I said, I've been to my first golf tournament, first FedEx St. Jude Classic in 1980.
Wow.
I said, but I didn't know which end of a golf club to hold. I had to ask a friend riding home that night. I said, "Now, when do you hit a 7-iron instead of a 2-iron?" And he explained all the yardage to me. You don't just get this. It doesn't come to you magically. You got to get around, and experience is the best teacher.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, and I'm grateful for it, man. Brett, what I remember you said, Johnny, you can talk here, man. You don't just you can talk, man.
Don't
just
go.
Raise
your hand.
This is school. You don't gotta raise your hand.
This isn't school, Johnny. You can talk.
When we're not at Sunday school.
No.
Hey, when you said that, man, of course I know Brian. It gave me so much confidence. I'm like, man, I love these guys genuinely because they really gave me a chance and
I wish
belief.
you could see the text from my friends right now. A really good person, a fine person, texts in. Sounds like a great and very humble young man.
Yeah.
You are.
Thank you. I am, man, and I think I give that
That's
to
why
my
you gonna
parents,
crush
man.
it.
I'm going to give that to my parents. Man, emotional time, man.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
Well,
this.
but we're happy yeah, really. No, but we're happy for you,
Hey,
Johnny.
Brett, I might need the tissue.
Yeah, look,
I might need the tissue.
I used the last one the other day. I'll have plenty.
Good Lord. No, but we are happy for you, Johnny, and we're glad we get at least one more day with you. Today's not the last day. Tomorrow will be. But at least we get one more with you. And again, happy for you. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill & Bar in Olive Branch and Carterville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes, and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Carterville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill & Bar, where you're always having a good time.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
What companies would you want to work for?
Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
It's Kubota Days at First Choice Farm and Lawn, and you're saving big. Hi, I'm Johnny Radio from Sports 56. Take advantage of discounts and 0% financing on every piece of Kubota equipment. Join me in Sports 56 Saturday, May 11th, 11 to 1. We'll be giving away golf rounds at Wedgewood Golf Course, Malco movie tickets, food from Coletta's, and more. Kubota's Orange Day sales event at First Choice Farm and Lawn, 12701 Highway 64. See you for Kubota savings on May 11th.
This Mother's Day, let's celebrate the woman who held our scraped knees, cheered our victories, and nurtured our dreams, and show her the love she deserves. Of course, there's no single gift that can truly express the depths of our love, but this Mother's Day at Genesis Diamonds, we'll help you find something truly special. From sparkling diamonds to timeless pearls to colored gemstones, we have it all. And the trusted experts at Genesis are here to help you find the perfect piece that helps you say, "Thank you, Mom." It's a perfect time to see the amazing collection of exclusive and acclaimed jewelry designers at Genesis, like Gabriel & Company, Shy Creation, Tacori, A. Jaffe, Simon G., and more. You can find all the mothers in your life something unique, handcrafted and beautiful, jewelry she can wear and appreciate every day. Mom deserves the best. Let us help make this Mother's Day truly unforgettable with something affordable yet timeless. Happy Mother's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, don't look now, but the Phoenix Suns are moving fast to try to replace Frank Vogel. A little less than an hour ago, Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Mike Budenholzer is emerging as the front-runner to become the Phoenix Suns' next coach, sources tell ESPN. Not 10 minutes later, he quote-tweeted that and said, Budenholzer is the Suns' target, and talks are expected to move quickly, sources tell ESPN. He's been working to assemble a coaching staff for a turn to a head coaching job, and that process is also gathering momentum, source said. So this sounds like it's going to be a quick turnaround. Like you said, a championship coach. So certainly knows his way around the playoffs, knows how to win, and certainly will have a team that is capable of at least going for that.
And those championship bona fides will have instant respect among those veteran superstar players. What I learned front page today at ESPN.com college football section was Coach Prime on the front page. He may have the most pressure. When we go through the summertime build-up to college football and hot seat talk and got to cash it in, he may have the most pressure on him in year 2 at Colorado than anyone out there because of all the checks he's written talking so much stuff. He's got to cash those in next year. He's got the pressure on him. He won 1 league game last year. That was the same number of league games his predecessor won.
Wow, that's a good point. So we'll see. What I could have done with that, I was going to go one way. I was going to talk about the New York Knicks and these injuries. I like this team a lot, but with the limited rotation right now and now injuries, it looks like it could be an issue. But I just refreshed my my Athletic page, The Athletic, And I got to change it. I got to punt on that first story because this is a headline that I am reading on The Athletic. Brett, are you familiar with Livy Dunn? Olivia Dunn?
Yes, at LSU, the gymnast.
LSU, yes, the gymnast.
Number one NIL out there.
Absolutely. Very popular social media star. Well, she is dating Paul Skeens.
I didn't know that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they started dating last year, I guess. I don't know. I don't keep up with all of that. But this is the headline on The Athletic. What you should know about Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn's boyfriend with the triple-digit fastball. I think Paul Skeens has done enough, at least to sports fans. Now, if this was like People Magazine, then okay, I understand that headline.
But you clicked.
I did click, Brett.
That's why they did it.
They you got a point. They did it. Now, it is funny. I saw earlier today, Livy Dunn, like I said, she's huge on social media, huge on TikTok. She posted a TikTok video last night that MLB ended up reposting that said, when you're both taking a nap and your boyfriend gets called up to the major. So there's a chance that Paul Skeens, when all this was going down yesterday, he was getting called up, all the tweets about him, he was asleep, which...
Can y'all believe I missed it on the TikTok machine?
Well,
I missed it.
It's a shocker. I mean, that might be the biggest surprise
I'm shocked
of the day,
too, Brett. I'm
did.
shocked.
I could have done without it, and I really hate doing this because I like Rick Carlisle a lot. I love when he comes to Memphis and is downtown, but he's going to be fined heavily, and he should be. You just can't say that. You can't in a nice way say that the series is fixed. No. And that's what he did.
He sure did, and that coupled with the formal complaint of all of these missed calls at MSG.
And here comes the T-shirt.
Oh,
New York can get ready.
Absolutely. So I'm sure we'll get that. I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten it by now. I thought here, like in the last hour, 5 o'clock, that would come down, but it has not. Where are you beaming tonight?
Oklahoma City, 15-9 all-time. The Thunder over Dallas in playoff games. They first met when the Thunder, as the Seattle Supersonics, when they played Dallas in the 1984 playoffs.
Wow. Beam me to this hockey game that gets ready to start here in about 5 minutes or so. Rangers and Hurricanes.
Rangers up 2-0.
TNT, up 2-0, but it has not been easy for them. This is one of those games that I talked about earlier. This one went to double overtime Tuesday night when they met. Now they'll head down to Carolina against the Hurricanes, and so should be a fun one. I think a lot of these games, I know Cavs and Celtics, I think you feel pretty comfortable. Boston will
Dallas
take care
needs
there.
to win in hockey and in basketball.
You're right, but there are 4 playoff games tonight. I think 3 of them are going to be really, really fun to watch.
Cardinals in Milwaukee against the first place Brewers.
Wow.
You can carry your Cardinal fandom to Detroit, aren't you?
I asked him that. I asked him if he was going to switch up when he got up there.
Let the Tigers be your American League team.
Be like me, yeah. Mariners are my American League team. Cardinals are my National League team.
Hey, Brett, I would never forget. I made that commitment here, so it's going to stay here.
Now, the NIL might be more for Detroit.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, it really might be.
Hey, Brett, I can have both. I can have both.
You can.
I told him the other day, I said, it might not be great if you go in first day and, you get on air and they say, well, what's your team? And you go, St. Louis Cardinals.
Go with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Go with the Tigers, Johnny.
Maybe go. I've always been a Tigers fan. I love the Detroit Tigers. But no, it's going to be fun. But not a lot of baseball games tonight. Like you mentioned, Cardinals and Brewers. Only 2 other games in Major League Baseball. So it'll be a lot of eyes on the playoffs
I want
tonight.
Johnny to meet the guy. Detroit, basketball town.
Oh, I gotta meet him.
Got to. That might be the first interview you need to book. Is let's get that guy on and have him talk about the Pistons. So we at least get one more day of you. That's the good news.
Yeah.
That could be what I learned today. What I'm happy about, that we get one more day of you when we wrap up the week tomorrow. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. Enjoy these games, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.